Welcome, everyone, to What's the Play? It is week 6 for NFL, week 7.
Are you muted?
Mom, oh, I don't think so.
Oh,
no, I'm not.
You're connecting my fucking phone.
Oh, okay. Now you're muted. I can see you're muted. Anyways, I'll keep going on with the intro. It's week 7 for college football and week 6 for NFL. We're going to go again, as we do every week, over the college football slate first, and then we'll get into the NFL slate from the NFL GOAT, who I'm joined with again, as always, Lucas. Lucas, how are you tonight? You're muted again.
Yeah, I'm taking my AirPod out. So, Corey, here with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining as always. How's your week been?
Man, I'm so upset I didn't have a lotto hit on Monday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Shot my sweat SGP and couldn't get the Jordan Mason touchdown. Man, Debo went off 100 yards and touchdown. So many missed opportunities.
Him getting hurt early, or was it? Yeah, it was before the half. Kind of probably really screwed a lot of the props in terms of touchdown that he would have got, I think. But still I still think he hit his normal line, rushing prop line. So, which was maybe 86, I think.
Thought it's a little bit short.
Was he short?
Yeah, mid-80s.
Okay.
He had 71 yards, something like that. So if you had 70 plus, you were fine, but you couldn't score.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit frustrated. I can't lie. The way the past week is gone, so many lottos by one leg.
You're about due. You're overdue. That's for sure.
Way overdue.
I caught, as you know, DK Metcalf live. He had that 30-yard bomb, and then really didn't do a whole lot after that. And I played his under. It was free as air. I got a little worried.
I will say
there was a sliver. I got scared there for a second where they did throw that bomb to him. But then I think it was a legal shift, called it back. So
yeah, called it back.
Yeah. You know what? I'll take it. I'm not going to complain. So,
good call on that. DK Metcalf under.
I'm actually surprised. He hit his, I'm pretty sure he hit his normal line, which I thought he was going to go under anyway. So I'm really glad I waited to play him live. Oop, not slides. All right, but we'll get started. As always, we go over to FanDuel to look at lines. Both Lucas and I suggest that you have more than one book. This is just a convenient way for him and I to share with the audience current lines that are available and things that him and I like. So, other books to definitely shop around when it comes to things like this. But we'll get right into it. So there is some Friday night games. Most of them are going to be some action, but there is a couple games that I am interested to watch in, and primarily I'm circling Utah and Arizona State. So what I'm interested in this is Cam Rising, who's the starting quarterback, is back for Utah. And one thing I think that's kind of surprised me right away is that line hasn't really bumped up a lot more. I thought it was going to get closer to 10.5. I don't think it's even moved. It's a little surprising to me. I'm assuming they're going to think he's pretty rusty. He hasn't played since week 2, I think, was when he got injured with his hand. So there isn't a whole lot I'm really on for this. The only play I have for Friday night's game is I played Maryland money line. They're going against, obviously, Northwestern. That game is already underway. You can still catch it live. You're actually probably even slightly better, minus 620. I don't even remember what I got it at. But Northwestern is easily the second worst Big 10 team. They're just god-awful, only slightly ahead of Purdue. And then I paired that with the over for the Utah and Arizona State game. The reason I really like the over here is this was even before Cam was coming back. I think everyone thinks that Utah really can't move the ball after he's been hurt. But if you kind of look at some of the stats and some of the things that went down in the games where the other guy, his name is evading me right now, but they still move the ball. And Utah is very familiar with Arizona State and what they're doing. They're not a Big 12 team. This is a team that they've played in the past. And I still think that Utah is going to win this game going away now, especially with Cam in the game. But I played it over 36.5, and that got it to plus 101 on DraftKings. Again, shop around.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot of other Friday night games that I am interested in. The UNLV, obviously, they kind of got screwed last week. They were undefeated up until then and maybe looking like a playoff team. But now with that loss, being a group of 5, it's very unlikely they slide in. So sucks for them, I guess, but I'm not a UNLV fan, so I don't really care, I guess.
Thrown off by these kickoff times.
Yeah.
10 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, Mountain Time. Yeah, that's
And it's Mountain Time
obviously. For the audience who's viewing, I'm in Colorado, so if you're wondering why the times maybe look weird, that's because it's Mountain Time, not Eastern or wherever's local to you. This is probably one of my looking like going to be one of the best weeks of college football slates. Definitely what we've had so far, but maybe of the year. I guess, is there any games that you've kind of circled that you're interested to watch in so far or not?
I know you're going to talk about Oregon and Ohio State.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't put in any college plays yet this week. NFL is not exactly where I want it to be, so I'm just going to enjoy watching tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to bet college yet or not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of great games tomorrow, that's for sure. Oregon and Ohio State, I'm sure, is the best one. Ole Miss, LSU.
Yeah,
really good college games.
And there, I think what makes it great is that there's a bunch of top 25 matchups that should be really good games, regardless if they were ranked or not. So in the early window here, 12 o'clock Eastern or 10 o'clock a.m. my time, there isn't a whole lot that I really care to look at or watch that really kind of just flies off the page and is like, man, that's going to be a watcher. However, I did find a pair that I decided to play. Again, I don't really like to play the lines straight as is. You can say it because I'm a shit gambler or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't like doing it because these are 18 to 20-year-old kids, as I've said before, and you don't know what happened to them today.
You're right.
Yeah. Their girlfriend could have just dumped them, or whatever. They could have flunked a test. And we already saw the parity last week. What was it? Eight top 20 or 8 top 10 teams went down or something like that. I can't remember the exact stat, but obviously Alabama losing to Vanderbilt and then the goalpost getting thrown in the river there was obviously
on Tennessee.
Tennessee went down late. They shouldn't have lost that game, though. Jesus.
They should not have lost that game.
Yeah, they should not. Nico just kind of made some mistakes there. He's young. He's a good player, and I think he'll really come back. But the thing I looked at for the early window that kind of stuck out to me was the Iowa-Washington game and the Army. The one I can't really believe I'm paired with this is the Army UAB. So a lot of people are going to look at Army who haven't maybe watched them yet this year, and they're going to say, Army, oh my God, terrible, right? They're averaging 40-some points a game this year. Their offense is completely transformed. They score, and UAB is fucking horrid. They are so bad. They just gave up 70 to Tulane last week. 70. One thing I wrote down, I still can't believe their coach said this out loud. He was during a press conference. I don't remember what the question was or what exactly happened, but his response was, well, what does it matter? This isn't Alabama. And that offended a lot of people. And that game against Tulane was empty. Essentially, all of their fans just kind of gave him the bird and was pissed off. And Obviously, they got 70 hung on them, but Army, the one thing that really sticks out to me, I can't believe I didn't bet it earlier in the week or even last week, was the line was at 18.5, and now it's sitting there at, was it say 20? Yeah, 27.5. So that is a huge jump, right? I think that's probably fair. I kind of kicked around doing Army minus 16.5. And I think they cover that line easily still. It's Parents Weekend at West Point. So the cadets are going to be looking to stomp a mud hole in Alabama UAB's ass, and rightfully so. So what I ended up doing, because it's hard for me to swallow such a huge line, is I ended up doing, where's it at here? On DraftKings, you can go into drives, and you can do UAB first drive, and I played punt. They've punted they've only not punted, I think, once this year, and those are against worse teams. Army's defense is pretty good. I think they're getting really screwed by not being ranked in the top 25. So if you play Army, you can either do the punt like I did, and what I ended up doing for the second cap was doing Iowa plus 4.5 versus Washington. So a couple notes. I've talked about it multiple times on this show. You got a West Coast team traveling east, 2 time zones. I think I've already gave this. I know I tweeted this out earlier in the week. Maybe talked about it last week too. Teams that are traveling 2 time zones or more, especially in the Big Ten, specifically Big Ten, 1-7. The only team that gave up the win was UCLA, which is dog shit. So really, it could be, if it wasn't such a horrid team, you're probably looking at 0-8. The other thing, playing into an Iowa win in that game, is it's an early game regardless. It's going to be 11 a.m. kickoff Central Time. That is 9 a.m. for Washington. That's really early. And that's really, I think that just kind of loops back into the 2 time zone situation. But the thing I think that really kind of tipped me over in thinking that I was going to win straight up anyways, is that Washington's having some kicking problems, and everyone knows Iowa is a very low possession type want-to-win team anyways. And if they win by a field goal, that's completely fine with them. So I played Iowa plus 4.5 and UAB's first drive as a punt. That's plus 116 on DraftKings. On FanDuel, I think it was like 115. So do whatever you want there. Otherwise, if you don't like the punt, I suggest plus 16 or minus 16.5 Army, which I don't know what that comes out to. We can check that real quick. Plus 115. So it's about the same. You're not really losing any odds. I just think it's easier. Probably easier to get that win on the punt, in my opinion. But knowing my luck, they'll fucking house some terrible missed tackle or whatever. So that kind of gets me out of the early window. Is there any other games in this early window that kind of intrigue you at all, or?
No, not in the early window.
Yeah. The only other one I think that is a trap game right here, Mizzou, Massachusetts. I think everyone's going to think Missouri's going to stomp them. I don't know. I don't think Missouri is that good anyways. So if anything, that's a lot of points. I haven't seen Missouri cover a line that big. I'd take that. And you could probably pair it with something else. The Rutgers-Wisconsin game is interesting too. But, yeah, so that kind of gets us out of the early game. I don't have a play officially yet for this next one I'm going to talk about, but obviously there's a lot of hype for the Texas-Oklahoma Red River rivalry or shootout, whatever you want to call it. It used to be called the shootout, and then they changed the name for obvious cancellation issues.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they changed it.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, it used to be called the Red River Shootout, and then they kind of canceled it
The
because
shootout. Can't say that anymore.
yeah, they don't say shootout.
Okay.
I think they probably do, but like media doesn't. So I think Texas blows the doors off Oklahoma. I've been very vocal in saying for the longest time that I think Oklahoma made an awful decision going to the SEC. I think they're going to be – now this is going to be a little bit ironic seeing how Arkansas just beat Tennessee, but I still think they're going to be an Arkansas-esque team, going 6-6 or whatever. I just don't see – they're like I heard someone describe Oklahoma in such a funny way to me, and it was that that Texas is like that rich friend that you have that has so much money that asks you to go to Vegas and get like a $2,000 room in Vegas, and Oklahoma is like that friend who acts like they're rich and says, "Hell yeah, let's go to Vegas," and can't ever afford the $2,000 room. So
Makes sense.
yeah. Again, I think they made a terrible mistake going to the SEC, but the real cap on this game is obviously Ewers is going to be back for this game. He's going to be rusty. He's coming off that midsection injury. I don't remember what it was, maybe just rib soreness or something. I never really cared to really look into it, but minus 14 and a half is a bit rich for me. And the reason I say that is because if you look back in previous matchups, it's hard to price in hate, in my opinion. How do you price in hate? These two teams fucking hate each other in so much. It's huge. And no one has really ever blown each other out, especially Texas to Oklahoma. Once, I think, in 2022, I should have wrote down the year, but it was like 49 to something. And they may blow them out this year. What's that?
They shut them out one year, I think. It was like 49-0.
Yeah, was that? Yeah, I think that was 2022 or 2021 or something like that. They shut him out. They killed him. But if you look back, there's not a lot of that. And again, I think OU's had a very disappointing season up to this point. So my game plan for that game, obviously my lean is Texas, the spread, but I'm not playing that. My plan, if I can catch it, is to try and take Texas live. Best case scenario, maybe the first quarter no one scores. I don't think that happens. But if Oklahoma could somehow get on the board first, that's the books, as you know, they overcorrect in a wild way. And if you could somehow get Texas at like 7, even 7, and a flat 7, 6.5 would be wonderful. But I'll take 7. And I don't know how high I would be willing to take. 9.5 I'd probably take. I think would still be a take because I still think they kill them. But obviously I'm going to be looking for like a flat 7 or a 6.5 there.
Not sure if you'll get that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Maybe looking for a live spot.
Yeah, I think for stuff like this, it's hard for people to swallow the no take. You really want something there, and because you feel like you have a good read, but the line may be just a touch sharp for you, and that's kind of how I feel here. So we'll move on. Is there anything else you want to add to the Texas-Oklahoma game? Or
I mean, we'll be watching, so definitely look for a live spot if you can on Texas.
Yeah. I didn't even look.
I imagine you probably won't be able to, but theoretically, if you can get a minus 10.5, minus 9.5.
Yeah. Again, I'm not gonna be sad if I don't get the bet. I mean, 9.5 is minus 250, but I don't know. I'd like to just play this game straight if I could. Personally. So then we'll move on to the game that mostly everyone is probably going to be watching here, the Ohio State-Oregon
We're
game.
watching this game tomorrow night.
Yep, it's going to be 7:30 Eastern, 5:30. Yes, we did. It's going to be – I think this is going to be an absolute electric game. Couple things I've already touched on some other earlier with the Maryland situation is – so the play I got here is I played Oregon plus 3.5, and I used the FanDuel boost there to bump it up, I think, to plus something. I think it was plus 128. And the reason I like that is because, well, a couple reasons, really. One, I'm not real sold on Will Howard, who's still the quarterback at he's the ex-quarterback from Kansas State, and he is now a quarterback there at Ohio State. He never really super impressed me at Kansas State, but he just seemed like he was good enough to get the job done, and I think that's what Ohio State wants with him. There's just so much talent around him. Yeah. It's just essentially they're just saying, dude, just don't screw it up. Okay. Go get a wrap. And essentially they're just saying, don't screw it up and we'll win games. And so far he's done that, right? But now you're going to go up against a really great team in Oregon. Obviously they kind of struggled early on where they almost lost I can't even remember who it was now, but it was a crappy team and they shouldn't have almost lost it. But again, there's two main things I'm looking at for this game is you have Ohio State traveling 3 time zones, right? Central, Mountain. Well, yeah, traveling over into 3. So it's in the bottom there. So we already gave the stat 1-7 there. The other thing I really like is that only essentially Earth is on Ohio State here. 14% of bettors are on Oregon. That's it. And that means there's a ton of risk for if all these people are on Ohio State, why hasn't the line ballooned up? I'll get in a second. If so many people are on Ohio State, why hasn't the line moved more? I think there's something to that. I think it's because the books know it's going to be a lot closer than everyone thinks. So I think that's the play there. And if you like, I think as we've talked about before, if you like Oregon, the under is probably the play also. But
yeah, I was going to ask you about the total.
Yeah, my general rule is that if you like the quote unquote underdog, it's normally the under. If you like the favorite, it's normally the over. Doesn't obviously hold true all the time, but I don't even know. I've never actually tracked what that. I should probably do that. Track what percentage of the times that's true. But
I think it's true in the NFL. I'm not sure about much, but
yeah. So that's my play there. There's some interesting stuff I try to look into sometimes, but especially the first half points.
Yeah, I was looking at that first half points.
This was a play I was eyeing really hard was the first half Oregon points. But again, that kind of goes against the under situation, so I didn't really want to play that.
I was looking at both teams to score.
Oh yeah,
what market? If you like them to score, maybe you don't.
What is that?
I mean, you could play no option, but I mean, yes, it's minus 152 for 20 points.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Get that even money.
Yeah,
might end up playing that just because I'll be watching that one for sure.
Is this something? Have you ever looked? Is that something you can play live? That both teams
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That'd be really nice if you could. Because if they had a really slow first quarter and you're like, That was weird. They're still going to go off. That would be kind of that. Maybe like Bet 365 you could, but I don't
Oh yeah,
think
maybe over there, not FanDuel.
they have the weirdest kind of live bet stuff on 365,
I've noticed that.
which is cool actually. But
A good thing, I think.
oh, I wonder. We'll talk about it when we get to the NFL. But that Betway thing, I didn't know that wasn't for. I didn't know that was not everyone. Like the bet, you know what I'm talking about, where you can like
So.
move the line wherever you want. It was in the Discord thing. Somebody posted it that is only like in Colorado you can move the line however you want. Like you can choose the number and it just comes up with the odds. So like instead of doing only 25, 30, or 40 or whatever, you can do 32 yards. So
yeah, FanDuel might be adding that. I've seen some people. I think it might be in the beta, but that'll be a game changer if we can get that with NFL.
Oh my God.
Like with unders. Man, if you can get all unders, I would please give me that on FanDuel.
It's not unders. It's only.
I mean, I saw some people the yes and no option. If we're talking about the same thing.
So like this is what we're talking about, where you can says like bet your way, and then you can choose someone. So if we go like rushing,
are you getting that on FanDuel right now?
Yeah. So you can see I can move his yardage to whatever I want.
Well, I'm not getting this. I just updated my app and I still don't have it. Let me see if I have it now. Wait, can you do the alt unders on that?
Well, yeah, technically you could, because I could move his line because there's a yes and a no.
Yeah, so the no option.
So like I could move it Derrick Henry to like 113 and no is 317.
I mean, I wouldn't do that for Derrick Henry, but
no, yeah. I mean, this is just a terrible example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need that. Let me see if I can update my app again.
That's what I was telling you. I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I didn't know that not everyone had that. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I was actually really surprised because I was like, why? I kind of wondered why you weren't using it.
How long have you had that?
Week 1.
You've had that the whole season?
Yeah. You can't use.
Why have I just not seen this today?
You can't use boosts with it.
That's fine.
One. I'm not saying that's bad or good. I'm just saying like a FYI, you can't.
You've had that the whole season. I'm just now seeing it today on Twitter. Saw a couple people post it, but
I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird. People weren't freaking out about it. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I've used a couple
states that have it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've used it, and it's great.
No, I have not used it because I don't have that. I want that bad. That would be a major game changer.
Again, I didn't know that not everyone had that. I just assumed you weren't using it because you're like, oh, I don't like, because you're primarily like to stick to straights and stuff. But because I don't think you can. That's one thing I never looked at. Like if I do no, like. Will that just be a straight?
Yeah, can you parlay that? Just repeat it.
Yeah. So you can actually you can do
it
as
an under builder, like.
You still can't do. Yeah, FanDuel's still being cowards and not putting up Brian Robinson, but like here, if you go like better way, like your way, open. What does this say? It doesn't say it's beta or anything. It just tells me what it is. But like, we'll get to like Chris Olave. Like his yardage is at like 49, but I could move him to 62, 77. 77's like 251. Like,
okay.
Can I watch my TV?
Yep. So you move it to whatever you want. Anyways, we got a little sidetrack there, but like I said, I thought everyone had that.
No, everyone definitely does not have that.
Now, sounds like I need to be just absolutely slamming the hell out of it because it's a interesting feature. And the thing you just brought up I didn't even think about was that for unders, because I've bitched about essentially the only place you can get unders was like maybe Bet or not Bet 365, but ESPN Bet and
DraftKings, but I can bet $12 on
DraftKings.
it.
DraftKings unders are terrible. They don't have alt unders really.
Yeah, they
I
have
mean,
all unders. I just can't bet those.
Yeah.
Limit me to $12. So
Yeah. So, well, now I
Please
know
give
I
me
need
that
to.
Virginia Stone.
Now I know I need to start taking far more advantage of that. Back to the college. I'm almost done here, and then we'll move to NFL. Then there's a bunch of kind of mid games in here that I don't have a good real feel on or understanding. I do think a lean here for the Cal Pittsburgh game. For anyone who's a degenerate and stayed up watching Cal blow like a 21 or like 30 some to 10 lead on Miami.
31-10.
Yeah, my God, that was horrid to watch. My lean is Cal wins this game, but it goes against the problem with why I'm not betting it is it goes against what I've been saying with the time zone situation. Yes, you can have some. And the other thing is you don't know how those kids are feeling in terms of coming off an emotional loss. Like, are they just depleted where they don't have anything left in the tank? They gave it all and they still lost. Now they got to travel cross country to Pittsburgh, who they stole one from West Virginia earlier in the season. So I don't know. That one will be interesting to see how they bounce back. In the kind of still midday slot here, I don't know why they moved that 5:30 game. That's kind of weird, but still kind of in that earlier slot. Penn State is traveling to USC. Again, just going right back to the same situation, 1-7. USC just lost to Minnesota, who is they're not great. I wouldn't call them bad or horrid, but they're not great. And I did write some stats down here. Now, again, Earth is on Penn State here. So this is why I like USC. I understand USC is not ranked anymore. However, I still kind of consider them a fringe top 25 team. So that's why I'm going to rattle off these stats. James Franklin versus ranked teams is 12-26 all time. Versus ranked teams on the road, he's 1-9. Meaning he's dog shit when it comes to big games. You have a USC team who I think is going to be desperate. Riley's not getting fired by any means, but it's going to be hard for me not to believe that that they're not going to come in with a lot of essentially, pressure on them, thinking that if they don't get this game, that the expectations for their seasons are kind of gone. So I think they're going to be kind of dialed. I think they're going to come into this game, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try and play something USC here with my other spot that I like, and that is K-State traveling to Boulder. Where is that game? Here we go. K-State, 3.5 favorite. Obviously, everyone is real hyped on the prime train right now. They've looked a lot better than you and I probably gave them maybe credit for. You and I liked their underwin total. They're not good still. So
it's not over.
It's not over. That's right. I still think there's plenty of time for them to fall apart, and I think they do. People who have yeah. So one thing people haven't taken into account a lot, and I don't think they ever do for some reason, is how hard getting in a new league is. You saw it last year with the Big 12 when these new teams, maybe had a lot of outside success before joining.
Daddy, tell me to stop when I stop paying the bill.
Okay. they had a lot of outside success, before joining the Big 12, and then last year they joined the Big 12, and they don't do as well. Surprise, surprise. So obviously Colorado used to be Big 12, but I think they coming back in, they're gonna finally play one of the top tier teams in this league, and I think they're gonna more or less fuck around and find out. And I think Kansas State, coming off a bye, mind you, I believe. Let me double check that. I do believe they had a bye last week. I think they just roll into Boulder, and I think they just fucking rail him. And they need to, because if they lose this game, their hopes of getting to a Big 12 championship are pretty much gone. I don't see how they make it if they lose in Boulder this weekend. So the move that's my move. I was here. I'll post up here what I'm kind of thinking I want to do here, just to be quote unquote semi-safe. 4.5. 4 is kind of a key number. It's assuming like they're up by 3, Colorado scores, which I don't think it matters. And where is Penn State? There it is. That's good. USC. You could probably do 10.5. That's 11. 1-1-1. You may find better odds there. That's probably the play I'm going to play, is that. I'll have to check some other books for odds there, but that's a play for me. That's going to be one I'm on. My last few games I'll discuss. I don't know if I'm going to play this game yet, but UFC has kind of proved to me that they're not as good as I thought they were. Obviously, they had an incredible early running game there with KJ Jefferson. But now Cincinnati's traveling there. They've kind of surprised me in some of the games that they've played. Iowa State's old linebacker coach, who his first year there now, I believe he's a defensive coordinator, if I remember right, is what the position he took. And given how I don't think UCF's that good anymore, they kind of fooled me, sort of, and I fooled me once, sort of thing. So I'll probably take Cincinnati money line there. I'll probably be watching this game to try and get a good live spot there. But other than that, I'm going to primarily stick with the Big 12 because that's what I watch the most of. I think Arizona, this is a very interesting matchup. I think Arizona wins that game. I'm still not sold on BYU. If they beat Arizona here, they're for real in my eyes, and I'll kind of take back maybe some quote-unquote slander. I wouldn't really say I've slandered them, but they're going to go up against a great offensive team in Arizona, and we'll see what happens there. The Ole Miss, you mentioned this game, Ole Miss LSU. You're going to be watching that one?
Oh, that's going to be a quiet for sure.
Yeah. Is there any? What's your thoughts on that? Who do you think comes out and wins that game?
Well, I hope it's Ole Miss because I got a couple Ole Miss futures to make the playoffs.
So
Ole
do
Miss
I.
definitely needs that game. After losing to Kentucky, they can't really afford another like that. That wouldn't be a bad loss. They can afford bad losses at this point, really.
If they lose that one, it's going to be really hard for them to sneak into the playoff. I'm not really sure how they would get it done, to be honest. But going into LSU at night, man, that's going to be a tough game. I'm looking forward to watching that one.
So I've already got Ole Miss in that game, basically.
Yeah.
Action.
The last game. Oh, before I talk about my Iowa State Cyclones and then we move to NFL, I think this is a sneaky spot because I think it fits my narrative of travel. Not so much a narrative, the fact that these teams that travel multiple time zones are on this crazy hangover. The problem is Ashton is it Genty? I believe that's how you say it. Gentry or Genty? Yeah.
Genty.
Yeah, that dude's fucking incredible. And I mean, he could have like 6 carries for 200 yards and, games out of hand sort of thing. But the time zone thing, I think, could be real there and could be, you could bump that number way up and you'd probably be safe because Boise has looked kind of susceptible in the pass game. And that's really all that Hawaii does. Well, I would say. So they may keep it a lot closer than even the 20.5, but if you're a real degenerate and want to stay up, that's one that I would put in my card, I suppose.
Always take the under the Hawaii game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love to see the data on the underdogs in the Hawaii games, football and basketball.
Yeah.
Those midnight tip-offs. Like 11
p.m. Eastern. I don't know how they do it. And I wonder, I've always kind of wondered those kids that get to go over there if they get to really see Hawaii at all, like while they're there.
Vacation a little bit.
Yeah, like enjoy it. I don't know. I hope so.
Probably depends on the team.
Yeah, it'd be pretty nice if they did. So,
we see that with the Hawaii Bowl every year. Some teams it's a business trip. Some teams are going to enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah, like last year, Iowa State went to the Maui Invitational. I know they go early, like quite a bit early to get used to the time zone. And then obviously they try and line up a bunch of stuff for the student athletes to do while they're there. So that bit's at least good. So last game I'll touch on that I don't even want to touch on as an Iowa State fan is obviously Iowa State, West Virginia. A lot on the line for my Cyclones. West Virginia has decided they're going to do excuse me, blackout for this game. They're wearing their quote unquote Coal Rush jerseys, which are pretty badass, I think.
Those are nice. I didn't see those.
Yeah, it's sad that they're stealing the color black from Iowa State, even though it's not our color. Copying our black uniforms, how dare they? No, I think those things are really cool. I actually saw. I want to see if I could pull it up, but somebody put out a message there that if here we go. See if I can share this. So someone put out there that we should counter West Virginia's Coal Rush jerseys with a Gold Rush type uniform there, and so where are like the gold? That's a darker gold than we normally wear, but wear that. Go back to the script on the Cyclones jersey. I think that would be freaking badass if we wore that, but they won't do it since we're talking coal and whatnot. But anyways, the only other I'm not playing this game, as everyone knows my rules. I don't bet on my team. I don't need to be sad twice. I hope Iowa State wins. It's going to really come down to if we can stop the run. We're massively our linebackers are just absolutely hurt. We're like on our like on our 5th string. Last week, while I was watching the game, this guy come in and I was like, who the hell is that? Again, didn't know his name, didn't know his number. And I'm kind of a fanatic guy. So I generally know like the 3rd string at least. I had to look the dude up on the roster. He's a fucking walk-on.
Well, I do too now that I'm head coach at Iowa State. Know a lot of guys.
Yeah, he's legitimate. We were playing freshman walk-ons. I was like, my God, we are just so depleted. It's horrible. So that's all I got. Go out, go Cyclones. I think I looked at the split on money, and it's about more money is on Iowa State money line, but when you're looking at the percent of money on the spread, it's about 50-50. So I don't know. Do with that as you will. We'll move to NFL, your specialty. All right. Let's start looking at the board here and let's walk me through it. Is there
I'm
anything
gonna
on the
enjoy the week as a Virginia Tech fan.
Yeah.
Enjoy this week off.
Yep. Get healthy and hopefully come off and get a win. So first game here, Jacksonville, the London game, Jacksonville, Chicago. Is there anything you're eyeing there?
Man, my internet's fucking up. Slow me off. I'm going in and out.
Yeah,
Let's play the builder for this one.
Yeah, I notice you are kind of laggy almost. But
Like the fan game.
excuse me.
I like over passing yards. It's up to like 240 or something now. Open like 230. I like that, but number got a little bit high for me just because it's a London game. You never know. And I don't want to guess if it's Romo Dunze, if it's DJ Moore. I feel like they all might kind of eat because Jacksonville's secondary is just so out of it right now. They've got a couple injuries, and I paired Caleb Williams 200 plus passing yards with Tank Bigsby 25 plus rushing yards. Travis Etienne's had a shoulder injury. Seems like he's gonna play. They've got his rushing attempts line. That's only at 9.5, which is pretty low for Travis Etienne. And Tank Bigsby's I think he's had 100 plus in 2 straight games, and he's only had like 9 or 10 carries in both of those games. But whether or not Doug Pearson's gonna admit it, I feel like Tank Bigsby's much better for their system right now. And I like him to go over his regular line, but with the profit boost, I'm just gonna go ahead and pair those two. Caleb Williams 200 and Bigsby 25 plus. And I paired it with a Bears alt spread. Got Bears plus 12.5.
Yeah, so Tank's really gone off. How many carries did he get in these games?
He's not even getting that many carries. He had a couple long runs the last 2 weeks.
13 and 7. So it was about more of a normal load. He was pretty
low.
His
regular time.
Yeah, 7's pretty low for
talking about travel a lot. So the Jaguars, they didn't get into London until 4 o'clock a.m. and whatever. Yeah, 4 o'clock a.m. London time, whatever time zone that is.
Local time there. Yeah.
Local time. So it could be a big factor. Usually it is for some of these teams. They got there Tuesday, so they've been a few days to get acclimated to the time zone change. And the Jaguars, they play in London every year. Trevor Lawrence is 3-1, but in London. So I would lean the Bears. I got the Bears alt spread. Got a little plus money builder. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a lotto for that game just because those London games can get pretty weird, as we saw last week.
You got me wondering.
That's pretty easily, but
with the time thing, what do you think on Trevor Lawrence's underpassing there?
I was looking at Lawrence underpassing, but the Bears have a couple injuries in their secondary. Jaquan Brisker's out. Terrell Smith is out. So that's I would lean under, but it's a pass for me there. Trevor Lawrence.
265. Huh. Might be a good.
So maybe if you're under that,
I'm looking at that better way thing, right?
If I could do that kind of thing, yeah, I would like that.
So I could play
265.
265 is minus 290. I mean, let's go back.
Yeah, that's a builder right there if you want it.
Let's go back to the passing.
I can't do that, so I'm not going to say go play it. I'm not going to say play something I'm not going to play myself, but
yeah,
the Bears do have a good pass defense, but Brisker
pass yards. Chicago's defense is 6th, so that's good, right? 174. Shit. I mean, what number would you think if I was going to play this would be a safer play, like the 265?
I would think so.
And then you could probably I like that Tank. Did I miss that Tank play that you did? Tank, what did you play him at?
Tank Bigsby 25 plus. 25 plus.
I don't know how he doesn't get 30.
It's plus money.
If I do 30 yards, what's that get me? That's 197.
I feel like he goes over his regular line 38.5. But...
So with this better way thing, I could do Tank at 30 or more, and Trevor under 265, and that's plus 106.
Well, I can't do that, so.
Yeah.
In Colorado can, but not in Virginia.
Yeah. No, I'm just bouncing ideas off you here since we're on.
But yeah, I'm jealous. I want that. Who do I talk
Jesus.
to get that in Virginia?
I'm actually gonna lock this in fucking right now. My God. I need to be doing
Those
more of this.
defense is pretty terrible.
I was looking at Trevor's. So that was actually I want to talk about this real quick before we move on. I know that we talked about some live spots that we liked last week. Both of you and I liked Roshan Johnson's live. It ended up being a no take. Right when I was about to take it, his line was at 22 or 21, and I got a little greedy. I got a touch greedy because I wanted 19, and he fucking ripped off like a 17-yarder, and the line just ballooned back up. The funny thing is his straight line, which was 20,
Like 29
I think. Was it 29? He didn't go over that. Yeah, so that
And
live
he's still
spot.
under. It's happened 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, so that live spot that
Under
we
like
talked
3
about.
yards.
Yep. So that live
Regular
spot we
line.
talked about was definitely the move. I just got a touch.
Yeah, I saw it too at like 21 and a half, and I
So yeah, that's a mental note I need to make, and hopefully for the follow or the audience too. Don't get too greedy there. We would have like the easiest cash over the 21, but man, just got to touch greedy there. We also
can't get yards.
Yeah. Lawrence, we did talk about Lawrence under yards last week, under 234. Ended up being a no take because he just was bombing it in the
He
first.
went under his attempt still. He went under by the hook on his pass attempts.
Did he?
Not sure what his attempts. I think it's 33 and a half this week. Pass attempts, but yeah, he 34 last week. Line was 34 and a half.
Am I still
That was a
showing?
strong lean. I didn't play that one. I need to play some of these plays. I need to tell myself some of these times.
Here we go. Pass attempts. He had 34 last week.
Yeah, line was 34 and a half.
Yeah.
By the hook.
Yeah. You can't really look to see what his line was last year or last
You
week.
can do the line history. Click that. See that at the bottom?
Oh, yeah. Didn't know that feature.
Yeah, that's
Very
a
good.
new feature they've got.
So yeah, it was right there. He got hooked, unfortunately, for those people. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking at some of these other things. Anyways, so yeah, we had that. The other one we did was Najee Harris under 18 and a half, first quarter rush and receiving yards. I actually don't know if he went over or under that. I kind of forgot to look at my notebook there. And the other thing, I don't remember. There was one other play we talked about. Anyways, I must have forgot to write that one down, but we'll kind of move on here. That's a Tank Digsby. Jesus. Yeah. I like that play a lot that you gave here. So I already locked in the one that we were talked about where the Lawrence under 265 and Digsby for 30. Bigsby, Jesus, not Digsby. Obviously, I seem to be the only one that can to play this as it's a Colorado thing. So,
Caleb Williams for 200 plus.
I think the Bears. As I've been meaning to do that, I want to keep doing this like we did last stream, which was who you think's going to just win the game.
I like the Bears.
I like the Bears as well.
I think the Travis is a very big factor there.
Yep, I do too.
The hurricane that really messed up the Jaguars' travel plans. They didn't get there till early this morning in London.
Yeah, that's going to screw them, I think.
I think that could be a very big factor there.
All right, we'll move. The Commanders versus the Ravens. I know you got some plays locked in here.
I got a couple for this game. One you can't get anymore. Brian Robinson Jr. under rushing attempts. At least I'm pretty sure it's still taken down on
He's
FanDuel.
never
He's
sure
going to play or not. He's still questionable.
Yep.
I don't think he practiced today, but I'm hoping that Brian Robinson Jr. suits up, gets me 7 carries, goes under pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I can't even see him posted, but I'm assuming because of the questionable.
Yeah, they took him down because he hasn't been practicing this week.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he suits up. The game time decision. We'll see. But then when you can get, I'm not sure what the line is now. I think it went down a few yards. The Commanders' team total rushing. I got under 132.5.
I can't
Do
look
that
at that on.
ESPN and Net 365.
Yeah. Those
That's a
are
market I've done very well with this season. I lost one of them last week. Was the Cowboys I lost against the Steelers, but been very good with that
BS one
rushing
there.
market.
That was kind of a BS one. But
Yeah, I lost that one last week. Oh yeah, it's now 129.5. I think the Ravens have rushing defense in the league. They 60-something yards. I mean, the Washington's had a great rushing offense, but that's because of Jaden Daniels, of course. But I feel like Baltimore definitely has a line, so he doesn't have a yard run like he did last week. He broke a couple long ones last week. But yeah, I got 132.5. It's 129, and I feel like Daniels has to have like at least 80, well, maybe not 80, but 70, 75 rushing yards for him to for Washington to go over that team total. So I definitely like that. It's definitely one of my favorite plays of the week. Especially if Brian Robinson Jr. doesn't play. I'm hoping he does, Boyd, but I'm not sure if anybody else has Brian Robinson Jr. up. Probably not at this point.
no, he hasn't been up at all.
I bet that Wednesday.
I've been looking quite a bit. Yeah.
So basically, getting that team total, I feel like you're getting Jaden Daniels under 75 yards or under 8 rushing yards. To the team total, close to it.
Jaden, sorry, what'd you say? Jaden Daniels under what?
No, I feel like he would have to have like 80 rushing yards to go over that team total.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
I bet in that team total, I feel like you're just getting Jaden Daniels under like 80.5 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Because if you got Austin Eckler and McNichols, I don't think they're combining for more than like 60 rushing yards.
Yeah, probably not. So I don't have. There's not a lot.
You can go Derrick Henry, but
it's a bit high for me. There's just not a lot.
Well, look at his anytime touchdown odds. You like that? It's like minus 320.
Oh my God, isn't that just criminal?
Minus 3. There you go. So I'll go instead of Derrick Henry if you pick a touchdown in this game. Washington secondary is pretty awful.
That is just disgusting. Like, what the?
I do like Zay Flowers to score a lot. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet him to anytime touchdown, but I have a few guys I like to score this week. I don't think Zay's in the top 5, maybe top 10.
Who's your top 3 there to score this week?
Well, I can get that out later.
Okay. We'll touch on that
games
later.
I really do like.
Yeah, there's just not a lot I really was sold on this game. I just think the Ravens are a far better team.
Oh, yeah, I like the Ravens to win. I like them to cover too.
Yeah, I do too.
I said absolutely awful the Commanders last week. And it's going to be the come to earth moment for Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels, Watson was absolutely awful. I feel like this week the Ravens, I don't know if they cruise to a win. I feel like they cover and win pretty easily, though.
Same thought there. I think this is easily going to be their toughest, Jaden Daniels' toughest matchup. So we'll see how he fares. He's looked really great so far. Like you said, seems like it's going to be a come to earth moment, which every rookie has. It's not a indictment of Daniels, just kind of fact of the game, right?
So, great.
Yep.
Best team they played so far.
So, all right. Yeah, I also like Ravens, and I think they cover as well there. So I actually have them in a teaser, which I will get to in a little bit, a 3-team teaser. So the Bucks and the Saints, I know for a fact you have a play here because I'm on it as well.
There's actually a few things I like in this game. Now, I'm really kicking myself. Bucky Irving, I never saw it. I was looking a few different times. I searched every 45 minutes on 365. And Bucky Irving was at 37.5 rushing yards. Yeah, now he's 60.5 because Rachaad White is doubtful. Probably closer out than at this point. So I'm absolutely kicking myself. Bucky Irving. I didn't put my on it because I didn't know Rachaad White was going to be out. I guess that was on me because he hasn't practiced. But
yeah,
The play I did play, Chris Olave over receiving yards. I got 49.5. Was up 48.5. I was a little bit too early, I guess. Oh, I got minus 110, but Spencer Rattler starting. I can't wait to watch Spencer Rattler. That's my guy right there. I feel like they absolutely got to steal in the 5th round with Spencer Rattler. And he said a few times, he said it in the training camp. I think he said it this week that when he's in the game, he's probably going to be getting targets. It's pretty simple. Throw it to the best player. I don't think Chris Olave is going to have 3 targets like he had last week with Derek Carr. Granted, he had a much tougher corner matchup last week.
Yes. Let's go.
Chris Olave's got a much better corner matchup. He's had a couple tough ones. I think that could definitely be a ladder spot. Chris Olave, receiving yards.
I feel like his receptions is a play as well.
Even the receptions.
4.5.
So we're discount with Olave. Normally it's like 65.5 or so. We're getting a discount because technically Spencer Rattler's a backup quarterback.
But yeah,
higher than anybody else on Spencer Rattler.
You got to play into that narrative, in my opinion, with what you're stating.
If you want to check the
Tampa Bay's pass defense is 28th. Giving up 258.
Well, there you go with the line history. Like 5.5 receptions. Now we're getting 4.5 receptions plus money.
Yeah.
If you want to switch to receiving yards, I'm sure it's the same thing. It's normally like 5.5.
His receiving
Now
yards.
we're getting 49.5. Which is
not down. Not down
60s.
Yeah.
That's normal for a backup quarterback. I'm just higher than everybody else in Spencer Rattler. I can't wait to watch him play. I don't know if Derek Carr is going to get his job back, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you didn't watch,
they absolutely hate Derek. They want Derek Carr out.
And if you didn't watch Rattler in college, he was very good.
And when he was at Oklahoma, he really was the next big thing.
Yeah, the problem was he was so up and down.
It's the turnovers, the same thing with every college quarterback. But
right.
I remember that COVID year; he was absolutely insane. His freshman year.
Yeah, it was really good.
His best college year. It didn't quite work out at Oklahoma, and he was all right at South Carolina, but never quite the same.
They went to South Carolina, and then he was kind of.
Yeah, but I can't wait to watch him play. I'm very excited for this game. Yeah, but I miss that. Marshawn Lattimore narrative. Whew, that's one of my favorite narratives. Mike Evans, probably in the under. I feel Lattimore's won that battle pretty much every time they played.
You like Mike Evans' under? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I feel like Mike Evans probably under this week. I like Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, the guy.
Yeah, it's probably why you see his line kind of.
Marshawn Lattimore narrative.
Yep. Kind of why you probably see his line ballooned up there a little bit.
So I like this game a lot. I may play it, another builder play, like Godwin and Bucky Irving.
I think so. One thing I noticed, and it had me a little freaked out, and we'll talk about it when we get to this team, is that both you and I believe FanDuel's the sharpest book, right? When it comes to player prop lines, or even, everyone's kind of the same when it comes to spreads, but like the Olave thing being, now it's not much, right? You're talking 1 yard, 48.5, but DraftKings, DraftKings has him 49.5. I'm looking at Bet365 right now. They have him at 50.5. So it is weird to me that FanDuel is the lowest out of everyone. Don't know why that is, and I'm not saying that it's that they're right. I'm just saying that it's strange to catch them with quote unquote their pants down on something like that for some reason. I don't know why it is. They may correct
situation. If you just assume a rookie quarterback making his first start is going to be pretty average, below average.
So yeah.
So I'm taking a gamble there that Spencer Rattler is going to be.
But I think it's the right move when they come out, in media and they're talking about, yeah, that's my guy. That's who I'm targeting.
That's your best player. Like, keep things simple. Give the ball to your best player.
Yeah, and it's not like you got, a crazy good defense in Tampa Bay.
Got a good match on the outside.
Yep.
It might be back for Tampa Bay this week, but
I was trying to see what
Duffy
he
against
was.
Kansas City. Chase Horn against Carolina 1 under. But 3 better matchups at 80 plus. So definitely ladder potential with a lot.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out. Oh, here we go. Here's
Yeah.
receiving yards. Olave 49.5. Okay. So they're still all pretty close, but
It's a gamble with rookie quarterback made his first start. Certainly a gamble I'm going to take.
So the play I'm on. So I'm on his receiving yards as well, but I'm going to end up locking it in here. I'm just, as we're talking, I'm looking at receptions, trying to find the best line here. I think he goes over 4.5 pretty easily in that game. And like you said, probably a ladder potential. I don't know which one it'll be. I'd probably guess his yards, but that's just something I'm going to end up playing. Like I said, I'm just, as we're sitting here talking, I'm trying to find what the best line for his receptions is. Here we go. 4.5. Looks like, so the best line for 4.5 is on Bet MGM. You can get him at plus 115. Next best would be obviously FanDuel at plus 108. So that's where I'm going to lock in that play. Next game is your Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Cleveland Browns. What do you got here? Oh,
got AJ Brown against the Browns.
I didn't ask you who's going to win the Buccaneers Saints game.
I like the Buccaneers.
You like the Bucs there?
Yeah. Man, I'm liking all these favorites. I'm not sure what my record was last week. I should go back.
Yeah. I didn't write that down either. I should actually I'm gonna start writing this down.
That's coming off the mini bye Thursday game last week.
I'm just gonna write this down as picks. Game picks. I'm gonna say Bears. All right.
7th game this next week.
Bears, Baltimore.
Yeah. Tampa Bay. We're doing a line of both. I guess I'd like Tampa Bay for both, but
yeah.
Tampa Bay money line.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to bet it because I like Spencer Rattler a lot. On the next game.
So for the Eagles Browns game, is there anything you're eyeing here?
That AJ Brown against the Browns. Should get his Instagram post up. I like his Instagram post that Eagles are coming off the bye. They've got Lane Johnson, Devontae, and AJ Brown back. And it's awful as Deshaun Watson has looked. You have to imagine this is a Eagles. I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm not 100% confident AJ Brown back. No. So they always open.
Is it?
Sometimes I don't like write-ups.
Which post is it? Turn. Which one is it?
It's the post he made over the bye week. The Joker one.
That's this one, right? Oh, this one here.
Yeah. Last week over the bye.
Can't click on them.
So come on, man. Well, I got it on my phone. Here's the write-up for AJ Brown. His Instagram post. Yeah, I got him at 67.5. Oh, he's up to 73 now.
Yeah, I really got some CLV there.
Yeah, but so Denzel Ward is out for like he's got a matchup, and off we have to match. He's going to punt. Same thing with Devontae, but AJ Brown, the ex-receiver there with and Denzel Ward is out. He's questionable, but it seems like he's leaning towards being out.
Yeah.
If Denzel chances with AJ Brown, it's 67.5. I'm sure you can get like 7.5 somewhere else, and better on 73.5.
Yeah, he's really ballooned up here. So that was a absolute snipe by you to get him there.
Definitely ladder potential with AJ Brown. I've actually written down this week the ladder potentials.
Oh, yeah.
So if you like one game this year, went for 115, 119 something against Green Bay.
If
As terrible as Deshaun Watson has been, maybe the Browns aren't on the field too often. I've seen a lot of people on Saquon, but hopefully everybody can eat for the Eagles because they sure need this win. If the Eagles lose this game, Sirianni might be done. Might be fired if they lose this game out of the bye.
he's kind of been one of those coaches who's been on the fringe of getting fired here for a while, in my opinion.
If they lose to Cleveland, I think that might be it.
Yeah,
you cannot lose this game.
Yeah, no, this is a big game for them. God, if you lose to
You
Cleveland,
lose this game off a bye week.
And Cleveland
Something
is not good. Cleveland's not good. They've looked horrible. Watson can't even fucking throw.
Watson's just absolutely awful. It's insane how bad he is right now.
It's
the numbers don't even show what he is. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
never seen a fall off like that with any player.
So, yeah.
I don't know if he would have put up his top stat cash, 188.5. I'm not going to play that because they've adjusted that line a little bit. Played it under a couple times this year.
Cleveland.
I don't think he's hit 190. Oh, he hit it against the Giants. He hasn't hit 200 this year. He's gotten under 200 all 5 games.
What the hell happened here? Signed me out.
But there you go. If you want to do an alt under, maybe that'll be another spot for it.
Oh, yeah, with my better way?
Yeah, if you could do that. Just because they've adjusted that line a little bit. Used to be like, I bet the under like 210 a couple times early in the season.
Gotta figure out what the hell my password for this is. Oh, there it is. Couldn't remember what it was. What? All right, well, we'll go back to sharing. Let me pull back up the.
Well, I do like AJ Brown to score. That's one of my anytime touchdown. He hasn't played any anytime touchdown scores, but AJ Brown's
first game. Is this his first game back from injury, right?
Yep, missed a few games. I feel like just at home, he's been a dominant receiver. I feel like he just has one of those games this week. Just kind of got that feeling, especially if Denzel Ward is out.
Yeah, I mean, if he's out, I don't know. I mean, who's going to stop him, right? So, don't know. It's that
even
was
if he's out, I got a good line on AJ Brown. I bet him a couple days ago.
Yeah,
was one of the I could have told you 3 weeks ago I was going to bet AJ Brown his first game back. But man, that Instagram post that did it for me.
That was the official. What made
There's
it?
Your write up. That's all there is to it. All I said was my turn. He's got the Joker and some of these pictures.
All right.
It's gonna be his turn on Sunday.
Here we go. I've got him. I'm back. Remember my damn password.
Yeah, I'm not saying play that at 190.5.
Yeah.
So we'll not play the over.
Let's see what under.
He had 125 against Washington. Like maybe the worst secondary in the league. I mean, definitely bottom 5 secondary. But oh my goodness, it is insane how poor he has played. There's no other way to say that.
Is that not the worst?
He played all right against Vegas. He had a 60-something yard touchdown that got called back. But
is that not the worst NFL contract ever?
Oh, it absolutely is at this point. That's the only reason we haven't been benched was that contract.
Yeah, because
you can't trade him. He's going to take that contract. You can't cut him. So it's going to be such a huge cap hit. At least,
interesting.
Well, you're running out of options.
Wow,
man! I bet his season total. What did I get? Like 3,655 passing yards. He would need 21 games to go over that at his current pace.
Actually,
he's that season under yards anytime you want. Bet MGM, but sheesh, it's gonna be a team that's time too long. That's how long.
I think something I'm surprised about here, as we're sitting here talking, is that I didn't know Philadelphia's defense was ranked so poorly. I guess 24th. I didn't know they've been. I mean. Have they played like a really tough schedule up to this point in terms of teams who have just like cooked them?
Not necessarily. I don't think. And some of those guys aren't quite in their prime anymore.
Yeah.
Big play Slay.
He's
Oh,
kind
Cooper
of
DeJean's going to start this week in the nickel corner. So looking forward to that.
first
Iowa
white corner.
Hawkeye.
First white corner to start since when?
Iowa Hawkeye.
Yeah. Hate to see it.
Yeah, him making his first start this week. I do believe.
He's really good though. That guy, he's an amazing player. Great teammate too, for everything I've always heard. So, he, good for him. You know, I think he's gonna really excel in Philadelphia. So, yeah. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. Last thing was that Deshaun under 210 is, or sorry, you can get him. You can get him at if you put in 200 even. That is minus 157.
Well, you can do all unders other places, but
Yeah.
put it on FanDuel.
So, all right. Well, we'll move.
Yeah, we can move on to a different one.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna write that down right now.
Of course, Eagles money line. We're
Yeah.
Who's gonna win?
Eagles.
Man, after the Phillies on was it Wednesday when they lost? If the Eagles lose this Sunday,
I mean, does he even make it out of the stadium?
not gonna make it out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to a different game.
Yeah. Colts Titans. Colts Titans. This is probably going to be a gross game. There was nothing in here that I liked personally.
If I did have a play in this game, it would be Calvin Ridley over receiving yards, but Will Levis is back. It seems like Anthony Richardson is going to be back. I wish it was going to be Joe Flacco, but I think it's AR and Levis.
Do they have Richardson up and pass? Yeah, they do. So
Brian Callahan's talked about getting Calvin Ridley involved. He's had 2 dud games in a row. I think he had like 9 receiving yards against Miami 2 weeks ago. They're coming off the bye. I feel like if you like coach speak, definitely bet Calvin Ridley over receiving yards. I'm not sure if I can do it just because Will Levis, but
I mean, they
signed Calvin Ridley to a huge contract and had a couple nice games. Oh, there you go, prop stat cash. So he had 9 against Green Bay and doesn't even show the number against Miami. That game was absolutely disgusting, the Monday night game, but
is there? So you only got 3. Look at that, 3 and 3 targets.
3 and 3.
That's not enough for him.
Yeah, so they're talking about getting Calvin Ridley involved, and this is the matchup to do it against the Colts. It's just Will Levis is holding me back. Granted, he went over the first couple games with Will Levis. So honestly, if I do play Ridley, maybe I'll play an alt line, 60 plus or something. But yeah, Will Levis, I'm out on Will Levis.
He's not good, in my opinion.
I mean, I've always kind of figured that, but I try to give these guys the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Let him have a few years before you kind of really.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't think the Titans see it either with the turnovers.
It's hard. When you're in the NFL, like that's a very important thing as a quarterback.
Some of the turnovers he's had are just inexcusable.
Yeah. You can't.
Oh, man.
It's
kind of funny, but.
Yeah. There's certain things you can coach, right? But like when a guy's just turnover prone, it's like he's got
the turnovers. The turnovers that he's making, just
dumb decisions. It's dumb decisions.
Just doing too much. I mean,
yeah,
taking a sack isn't the worst thing ever. Sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that's hard.
I'm pulling for Will Levis. That it works out for him, but I just don't see it.
Hard for a guy
to. For me in Colts and Titans.
Yep.
I'm not sure who's going to win that. If Joe Flacco was playing, I'd definitely lean the Colts, but it seems like Richardson's back. I
got the Colts here.
I guess I'll still take the Colts. I definitely don't like that, but
yeah,
I prefer Joe Flacco win.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know why they're still not playing him over Richardson. So
the same thing with Richardson. You spend a first round pick on him. You got to see what you got with him.
Yeah,
assuming he's healthy. I think it's still questionable, but leaning towards playing.
That's the only thing I can come to as a conclusion is that they're like, spent the pick.
He's only played like 10 or 11 games.
Yeah. So.
And I'm pulling for Richardson too. I hope it works out for him. He certainly got the raw talent, but just needs reps, just like every other young quarterback.
They don't get the I think in this new age of how they play these guys, it's really hurt a lot of these players who might have been stars if they were able to do what they used to do, which was get on a team and learn, ride the pine, grow, learn.
Definitely with most of those guys.
And
And so
instead,
Flacco was starting. I feel like that might be a good thing for Richardson rather than playing right now.
I feel
That's just
bad
not
for a lot of those guys because again, like you said, there's a lot of guys who I think have some really great raw talent, and they just need to learn. They're
I mean,
making
both those guys, Levis and Richardson.
I think a lot of rookie mistakes that I'm not saying they wouldn't do it, but yeah, that's just stuff that's coachable. But when you put a guy in, right away, and he's going to make the same shit that he did in college, and now you're going up against the best players in the world, and they're going
That's how it was at Florida.
Yep.
Had all the talent in the world, it's just turnovers.
Yep. So
I never watched Levis at Kentucky, but watched a little bit of Richardson at Florida.
yeah. So,
well, speaking of quarterbacks, we had first 5 weeks Jacoby Brissett. Now we got Drake May.
He's in. They've decided it is time for Drake May.
I have a season under yards, which is looking pretty good right now. I wish we had a couple more games with Brissett, but still feeling good about Drake May season total under yards. I don't know where you'll go in this game, really with either team because Nico Collins is out.
What was his season total when you played it?
2,400.
2,400. I'm
You'd have to average 200 to go over the rest of the way. If he doesn't miss any time.
I'm still
which he could under that offensive line. That's probably why he hasn't started yet because that offensive line is just so terrible.
Well, and the funny thing is the coaching staff has said as much too, is that they know their offensive line is so bad and that they're like, we don't want to put this guy in this situation.
Of course, I never wish an injury on somebody, but
yeah,
Drake May behind that offensive line is pretty scary.
Yeah.
I don't want to get Drake May injured, which is probably why they did start Jacoby Brissett for 5 games.
Yeah, and then
it seems like a very weird time to start Drake May, but their bye isn't until like week 13 or 14, so I guess there isn't really a good time to start Drake May. And they do go to London after this. They play the Jaguars in London next week. So I was figuring after that London game was going to be the Drake May's first start. So I was a couple weeks off on that with my future bet.
I'm with you. I don't understand the spot because you're going
a very weird time, I think, to start him.
You're going up a great Houston team. Like, what do you want him to do? I mean, you think he's going to out quarterback CJ Stroud or something? I mean, I don't.
Collins is out, so that complicates things a little bit.
Right, and but on the other side, Ramondre Stevens is out.
Yeah, Stevenson's out.
Yeah, so again,
Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, it's like, what do you expect Drake May to do here? You're putting him in
one
like
player that's fumbled more than Stevenson is Antonio Gibson over the last 3 or 4 seasons. Yeah. It's kind of ironic. Stevenson got benched for fumbling, but Gibson's the one player that fumbles more than him.
Yeah, their running back situation is just horrid.
I think Joe Mixon's going to be back this week for Houston.
They don't have his lineup, so it's still obviously must be
questionable, I think, but leaning towards playing.
Obviously, still
nothing in this game, prop wise.
Yeah,
like the Texans money line, I feel pretty good about that.
Yep. Same with me. That game's a pass. There's nothing there. There's the two guys I would play in any type of prop situation are hurt. So nothing there for me. And because we crossed that game, I do have a teaser, a 3-team quote unquote teaser. It's not truly a teaser. That I played. I played Philadelphia -2.5, Houston -2.5, and the Bears +7.5. That comes out to that's +131 on DraftKings. I think it was like +127 on FanDuel or whatever. We kind of already talked about it. You got fresh quarterback in New England going against a really good Houston team. If the Eagles lose, Jesus. That's just we've touched on that, and both you and I like the Bears. I like the Bears a lot more now that you told me that Jacksonville got in late. But I also don't. I'm still kind of like up in the air on what I think about Caleb Williams. You know, I definitely said I thought he was going to be a bust. Way like after he got drafted that high, he wasn't the guy I would have drafted overall first, but that's not really a point. And but he looked a lot better last week. He looked really good actually, and obviously Jacksonville has had its problems dating back to last season. So he went and they won last week, I believe, because I think they played the Colts, if I remember correctly, and they finally got a win there. But I just don't. Yeah, they did. It was 37-34. I had to go back to make sure I'm not talking about my butt here. But I just don't see how Jacksonville strings together another win, especially traveling all the way to London. So I'll take that kind of 3-team teaser for a unit there. I think that's a maybe about as close to air as you can get, in my opinion. So.
Do they have the line for next week? Jaguars and Patriots? I'm going to look real quick. Maybe not on FanDuel, but somewhere else.
Maybe I'll scroll down far enough.
If you scroll down far enough. I think you might have passed it.
I did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jaguars -5.5. I would like that against New England.
Yeah.
I mean, if Drake May is absolutely awful, I think that might be, well, maybe not 7.5, but 6.5. And I think the line might have been a little bit lower. Might have been like 3.5, but
plus Jacksonville's the team that's staying there, right? So then you have New England.
Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is 3-1 in London. I feel like he loses this week and certainly beats the Patriots next week. But
yep, I agree.
I am going to think about that. Jaguars -5.5. I'm going to bet that now. Or wait.
You might want to check some of the spots. What was the juice on that?
Yeah, I might wait for that, but
yeah,
maybe I'll write it down.
So we'll move on. Just got some more games to cover. Is there anything in the Cardinals-Packers games you want to touch on?
Yeah, so this is a nice weather game. Actually, not a nice weather game, a gross weather game. It's looking like pretty high winds, 15-mile-per-hour winds, maybe 20-mile-per-hour wind gusts, enough to affect the passing game, and a good chance for rain. Could check the weather now. Seems like 50% chance for rain. So, a gross day in Green Bay, enough to affect the passing game. You can bet this on best numbers on 365. Pretty much always is on 365. The total, I never bet this market. Total passing yards under 490.5. So it's a little bit of an experiment. I feel like, I definitely wanted to play. I wasn't sure how to attack this game. I think Jordan Love pass attempts might still be at 35.5. I feel like that's definitely a little bit too high. And I've seen a lot of people on Josh Jacobs. I feel like Josh Jacobs can certainly be a ladder spot this week.
35.5, still available.
Yeah, a lot would have to go wrong for Jordan Love to throw 36 times this week. With the way the weather's looking, the way that teams have run on Arizona this year, you can sort of look at Josh Jacobs. That's a very good play.
My man. 66 is.
I mean, yeah, I do like that a lot, Josh Jacobs.
Let's go on over to props real quick. Props cash to see what his Arizona. Oh, here it is.
We haven't had too many gross weather games so far this year. This looks like it's going to be one of them. I love these gross weather games.
Yeah, keep it on the ground, pound it. You know what the game script's really going to be.
Been awful against the run.
Yeah.
Teams aren't throwing against Arizona because they can run whenever they want to.
Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason
pass attempts allowed. Yeah, I'm surprised it's still 35.5 for Love pass attempts because it's moved everywhere else but FanDuel.
Yeah.
FanDuel doesn't care about attempt lines like that.
The only thing I wanted to
I may put Jordan Love attempts in a play.
Not pass.
I mean, yeah, the line's it's 34.5, 33.5. So 35.5 on FanDuel for some reason.
They may be slipping.
When you account for the weather, the chance that Green Bay is probably going to be able to run as much as they want to. A lot would have to go wrong for Love to throw 36 times.
I think that's an interesting correlation there.
I mean, it's the same play. Josh Jacobs over.
His rush
I would lean
attempts,
the
though,
yards over the attempts.
his line has gone down, and they're going against a team who allows a lot of runs.
You click on Emmanuel Wilson. He's had a little bit of run. At the bottom.
Emmanuel, here he is.
Yeah, he's gotten a little bit more run past few weeks.
Yeah. He's down last week, but, they must think that Jacobs
all that
isn't
much last week.
They must just think Jacobs isn't going to get the totes, and they're
I
going to
definitely lean yards over attempts there for Jacobs.
yards over attempts.
Yeah, I feel like that could be a ladder play there. Josh Jacobs rushing yards. Not sure if I'll play it, but definitely the potential for it.
Yeah, because he got 73 last week.
Yeah, I bet him last week. He cashed for me.
Yep.
That's one thing I don't do. If a player cashes for me the past week, I don't like going back to him the next week.
Yeah.
It's some weird thing I've been doing for 4
kind of
seasons.
makes sense though, because that's like assuming that they're just going to keep like playing at maybe like an elite level or something. Not saying that like cashing your line is playing elite, but
that line is a little bit low.
Yeah.
Whether I play it or not, that definitely is 6-7 yards too low.
Yep. So actually, I'm gonna write that down before I forget.
What, Josh Jacobs?
Yeah.
I do have him written down for a ladder potential, but I haven't played his regular line yet. Just because I played the total passing yards. I feel like there's a lot of angles you could go with this game. When you talk about a team like Arizona, they practice indoors, or I assume they practice indoors. They play indoors. Coming outdoors.
Yeah. This is going to be this type of weather is going to be new for them, right? In playing situations, so
kind of a sell high spot, I think, for the Cardinals.
Yeah, after beating San Francisco last week.
The spread's only 5.5. Of course, I'd lean Green Bay here.
Man, that is just.
And I'm just going with all the favorites.
Yeah.
Just about. Same thing happened last week. I had 2 or 3 underdogs. Got the Colts, but I'm on Packers here.
Same.
Not my most confident play of the week.
It's kind of funny. We both run that same mentality of sell the high on the Cardinals there. So
not necessarily selling high, but there's a chance that Green Bay is well in control of this game.
All right.
14, 17.
Yeah. So next game, Chargers and the Broncos. Is there anything inside of this game that is intriguing you?
I'm going to say his name right. Kimani Vidal. If I get it, Kimani Vidal lines, I'm very interested in that. Gus Edwards is out for the Chargers. No, we don't have rushing lines. I think some places have J.K. Dobbins rushing yards, but I think Kimani Vidal could get a handful of carries and maybe do something with it if we get a line for him. Looks like he's going to be RB2 this week with Gus Edwards out, but nothing in the passing game with Bo Nix or Justin Herbert. This game is potentially very gross. 35.5 total, and I feel like they still probably go under.
Yeah, it's I think the Broncos have surprised me a bit this year, but they still got a lot to figure out. I've been big on Bo Nix this year.
I really like Herbert under passing attempts, but I'm not going to play it because I fixed that line too. Played it earlier in the year at like 31.5, but 28.5 now. A little bit more accurate. I'm still laying under, but I don't necessarily love that line.
So just for reference, I went to Pickett, kind of touch back on the Jordan Love thing. I was just curious if anyone else even had 35.5, and it seems like everyone has 33.5. So it seems like I'm probably going to lock in 35.5, which seems a bit counterintuitive given how
juice. I don't know if you want to pair that with something. We could play that right now, I guess.
Yeah.
We can wait, find a leg for that.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily want to play that juice if we can find a leg for it. So
okay. Yeah. Well, we'll kind of move quickly from this game since there isn't a whole lot to talk about.
Who's going to win, Chargers or Broncos? I have absolutely no idea. Chargers coming off a bye week.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna break my streak here, and I'm gonna go Denver. I think Denver gets
I
a
have no
good
idea.
home win. Finally, their defense has been pretty good this year. And I just haven't – I mean, Herbert's kind of been okay, in my opinion. So I think the Denver's gonna get a good road home win here. Or not road, a solid home win here.
I need the Chargers to miss the playoffs, so I'll say Broncos too then.
Yep.
Bo Nix is getting better every week.
It really is. So another gross game, Pittsburgh and the Raiders. I don't have anything in that game, and I'm just not anything that has to do with the Raiders. I'm not touching the Steelers. They're absolutely radioactive, in my opinion.
Oh man. So there's actually a few plays I like in this game.
Wow, degenerate!
Nothing
I
I've played, but something I really like. So I was waiting for George Pickens' first quarter yards, and it's at 6.5. I'm not sure if I want to play that or not. So I don't know if you watched the Sunday night game. Well, you probably didn't. It was way past your bedtime when they kicked off, probably. That weather delay.
Easy.
George Pickens has been in the news for the wrong reasons the past week. I don't know if you saw his eye black. Did you see that?
During the game, or you mean?
Oh yeah, he had an eye black. He got in trouble for that. Open fucking always.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
see
so Mike Tomlin very obviously did not like that. His
Yep.
snaps were way down last week, and of course George Pickens is a tremendous wide receiver, but he's kind of one of those divas. You could tell he was half-assing a lot of these routes. If he's not getting the ball, he's going to half-ass his route. That's just how George Pickens is. And he wasn't out there with the two wide receiver sets. They kind of benched him a little bit. Snaps were way down last week, and I kind of feel like
he hardly played last week. He hardly played.
he cashed my 25. I needed that 25 so bad, but yeah, I'm looking at if I bet George Pickens first quarter under yards, I'm gonna think about that one.
How many?
I feel like I might kind of send a message this week. He's not gonna get the ball early until he has to get the ball.
You know what we can do is we can go here quarter.
Yeah, you can. I'm curious what that is.
George Pickens, first quarter.
Well, see, the line is 6.5, so FanDuel has the same idea that I have. If I could get 12.5, the line's not 12.5. If I can get that, that would definitely be a play.
Who the hell has 12.5? That's what I want to know.
I mean, that's just a line that PropStatCash generated.
Okay, so it's not based on reality.
No, I mean they do that when the lines aren't out, but I'm not sure if anybody else has first quarter props besides FanDuel. So I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm just now seeing this for the first time. That was a spot I had written down. 6.5 yards. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that anymore.
But this is the thing I think you want to really circle on here is the last 2 weeks. 0 targets, 1 target.
Well, I think a combination that the coaching staff is kind of trying to send a message to him, and he's kind of pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously a great player. He's just kind of one of those diva receivers. And Mike Tomlin's not happy with his antics, of course. Oh, and at the last play of the game, I know you definitely didn't see that.
No, I turned it off.
Started the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know you didn't see it. One of the Cowboys players' face mask almost started a little fight.
I saw it the next. I saw it the morning, and I was confused on why the hell he did that. Like, what was the point of doing that?
I mean, I don't mind it, but I know that the Steelers definitely do. Mike Tomlin, Arthur Smith.
And I can't. This is kind of a cruddy thing. I was trying to look up here on Pickett for if anyone else had first quarter stuff, but
I'm not sure first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm doing it wrong, I guess, which could be part of the problem. But I was trying to figure out how the best way to maybe even filter this down here.
I have a very strong lean AOC over attempts. We got Aiden O'Connell starting for the Raiders.
Oh,
I've got that written down on my live spots. I might just play the 28.5. I'll put him in a parlay.
Over 28.5. Yeah, what's he
Aiden
got?
O'Connell pass attempts. PropStatCash is very interesting. Because we're getting a backup quarterback line. Like, oh, it's just a backup quarterback who's going to be handing the ball off for most of the game.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. Yeah, if you want to go by quarter, too, he only played, I think, he had 18 pass attempts in the fourth quarter last week. Obviously, the game was way
Oh,
out
he
of
had
hand.
20 against Denver. He had 20. Right?
And I
20,
think he
20.
had 18 in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, 12 and 18 in the fourth quarter. I mean, the game, of course, was out of hand, but I feel like 28 and a half, I feel like the Raiders – I mean, I thought they should have started Aiden O'Connell to begin the season, but I feel like they're certainly going to have him throw the ball this week, try to see what they got in Aiden O'Connell. And Zolani was hitting for most of last year.
Yeah.
And it would look different if he was filtered by, like, number of snaps for last year at least. 'Cause at least one of those games he didn't start.
I can't filter by snaps, but
Yeah, but under the bottom there.
oh, here. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got this written down for a live spot. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get lower than 28 and a half, but whether I play the 28 and a half over or not, or wait for it live. If I can get a lower number live, I definitely would play that.
So we're going to do more
I
than
feel like they want to see what they got in Aiden O'Connell. I feel like they made the wrong decision starting Gardner Minshew to start the year.
so yeah,
I
if
feel
you
like
filter
Devontae Adams would agree with them. I can't believe they started Minshew over O'Connell to start the season. It was his job to lose, and he didn't win it.
yeah. So yeah, if you filter by snaps, you know, he's hitting that line 70, 80%, depending on how you want to really look at it. You know, last five, obviously 80%, and then who was the?
I just feel like we're getting that backup quarterback line, and I don't feel like it's just the average. This is like an average backup quarterback situation. I feel like he should have been the starter, and they want to see what they got this week.
Yeah, but obviously he wasn't. He was a starter last year, so the backup thing is, like you're saying, doesn't really seem to apply in this situation. So
That's a very, very strong lean that I haven't played yet, but got it written down for a live spot. I'm not sure if I'll play it or wait for a live. We'll see.
The problem with
yards, but I prefer the attempts over the yards.
The problem with pass attempts is it's almost impossible to try to bet it live because a lot like DraftKings won't open it back up most of the time.
Sometimes.
I can't ever seem to catch pass attempts like while they'll open it back up.
Well, the reason why is it's harder to account for the volume kind of stats.
Yeah.
Like receptions or attempts. Because, of course, yards you can get a 40-yard reception, but you can only get one attempt on one play. It's a little harder to account for the attempts. That's why FanDuel doesn't do the live attempts anymore.
Yep.
Because they'll get that last season, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to account for the volume kind of stats.
Yep.
You have to pay attention to the game script. It's a lot harder for the books to account for attempts, the volume over the yards. So with my live spots, I'm trying to account for the yards. I feel like the attempts over the yards. If I can get a live spot.
Get a live spot, yeah.
It seems like it's harder for the books to calculate properly.
The algos just aren't quite right there.
Well, there you go. Which is why FanDuel just doesn't even do it anymore live.
Yep.
It's not even worth it for them. Because I know I bet plenty live attempts on FanDuel. Pass attempts.
Rush attempts. When you could get them. So
yeah, 2 years ago you could do that, but not anymore on FanDuel Live. 365 and DraftKings you can.
Yep.
And the other one was Brock Bowers. I'm not sure if I'm a player or not, but I feel like that's another strong lean. FanDuel doesn't even have.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think he's up on here, is he?
Brock Bowers? I don't think so.
Yeah.
His line was a little bit high. That's still a strong lean that I may or may not play. I mean, probably not. I feel like I might be doing too much trying to get a play for this game.
Right.
Forcing the bit, but
I think if you can catch maybe Aiden's pass attempts line, then probably be good enough on that particular game.
Yeah, so I'm just looking live for that.
Yeah.
Unless I can get a better George Pickens first quarter line.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to search around some other books to see if that's a thing. You don't have Caesars, right?
I mean, I could. I have it in Virginia. It's just an awful book. Never had a reason to.
They're pretty bad. I won't lie.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. I've never had a reason to get Caesars. They always have the worst odds on everything. I've just never had a reason to get Caesars.
The only reason I got Caesars was last year when I started doing more NBA stuff, and they always had bad lines. Seemed like so. I'm not gonna pass that up. So receiving yards. Oh, here's an interesting thing for those who don't know. You can do total team receiving yards on Caesars. Didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you can do it on Caesars.
So, because you did Washington, is that who's you did the total?
Well, I did the Washington team rushing under, and I did the total passing yards for Cardinals and Packers.
That's who it was. Cardinals. Let me see. What was
The
what was
total
line?
passing yards in the game.
Passing yards. Let's see.
I mean, total receiving yards, same thing.
Oh, receiving yards. Yeah.
If they got that, because it went down a few yards on 365.
Oh, that's touchdowns. Total team passing yards. So yeah, you can do that also on Caesars. Arizona is at 205.5, and Green Bay is 245.5.
But can you get the combined line for both teams?
Oh,
I mean, that's what I bet on 365, the 490.5.
combo.
I think ESPN has it too, though.
Yeah. No, you can do total passing and receiving though. For both teams, total passing and receiving yards in the match.
Yeah.
740. So total rushing. Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. If you don't obviously have Bet 365, that's an option there. But
Okay.
all right, Falcons.
That's enough of that
Panthers.
game.
Oh wait, who you got winning that game? Vegas or Steelers?
So Russell Wilson is healthy. It doesn't seem like he's going to start, but I kind of wonder if we're going to see Russell Wilson in this game.
I think we see Russell. I got the
If you
Steelers.
have Justin Fields under, I think there's definitely a good chance we see Russell Wilson.
Yep. I mean,
don't
you
know if
brought
it's
him in,
50-50.
right? You brought him in. He's surely going to play.
I feel like a decent chance we see Russell Wilson this game.
Yeah.
When about Justin Fields under, that might be a good play. I mean, under attempts. His 26.5 pass attempts is pretty low, but
Yeah.
that's accounting for it. He could get benched.
What did I say? Don't put that close like that. Move it back, please. Thank you. Yeah. I think the Steelers walk out with the win. It seems like the Raiders are just done. I don't know.
I like AOC. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm an AOC believer. I mean,
All right.
I guess I'll say the Steelers. I'm going too many favorites.
Very, very reluctant to say the Steelers there.
This is because I like Aiden O'Connell. I feel like I don't know.
Maybe
The Steelers are the better team, that's for sure. But
I get what you're saying. Maybe he comes in and provides a spark, and they
Sure,
win the
he could.
game, right?
the fact that maybe we see Russell Wilson.
I think, but the thing is, I think this game is. Because, I mean, if you look at the total, right, it's so low.
Oh, yeah, that's it's still laying under 36.5.
Yeah,
Even for an indoor game, that's very low. But
I just
no
think the
weather
Steelers
concern.
are the better team when it comes to these type of gross.
yeah, this
game.
is going to be a gross game, 16-13, something
Yeah.
crazy.
They're like it's like an Iowa thing. Like they want it to be that way because that's how they
Yeah.
know how to win, and the Steelers have been doing it for a long time. So I don't think the Raiders just are built that way. And
I think it'll be a close game for sure.
oh yeah, I mean obviously the line's telling, right? 3, like you said, 16-13 is probably the score.
Might be 16-13.
Yep.
So I guess I'll say Steelers by a field goal, but that's how you get that -3
Yeah.
spread.
And then you push likely if you play the
Very
spread.
very high potential that spread pushes.
Yep. All right. Couple games left. We got the Falcons and the Panthers.
I don't think there's a single player that's cost me more money than Bijan Robinson past 2
Jesus.
seasons.
Oh my God.
I have to be like 1-7, 1-8 betting Bijan Robinson.
Every week, I think
Every single time I bet on Bijan Robinson, he's absolutely just killed my week. I mean, that'll be the play. Chupa Hubbard or Bijan Robinson. I feel like both starting running backs have good games.
every week I come in thinking, you know what? This is the week. They're finally going to decide to use Bijan the
I
way
mean,
they should.
Bijan absolutely has the matchup this week. This is his boom matchup where he can go for 100 yards. I mean, there's ladder potential again for Bijan too. I didn't write that down, but
Yeah.
this is the matchup to run against Carolina. And of course, he can run against Atlanta too. I feel like Chupa Hubbard can have a good game.
You got him at
Doesn't have Chuba Hubbard up.
67.5.
I think you got a better number elsewhere, but or even the team rushing yards, because of course Tyler Algier is going to get carries, handful of attempts. So you can take the team rushing if you like both, or pick one, or both. I mean, Bijan has the matchup. He's just burned me so many times. I don't know if I can bet this game. If they had Chuba Hubbard, I feel like I might have a builder play for this game.
Yeah.
I feel like you could definitely do like 40 plus for Bijan in the builder.
I mean, you got 61, and then look at that, 28, 31.
Carolina's awful against the run.
Oh, my God.
They've been a little bit better in the past couple of weeks, but they're still very easy to run on without Derek Brown in there.
Passing yards, they're not good. Carolina's defense. Actually, their rush yards, they are almost dead last.
They've been a little bit better.
And sorry, rush yards, 27th.
Just because their offense has been better.
Yeah.
First couple of weeks of the season with Bryce Young, the offense was never on the field. They couldn't get up any first downs.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't get out of my head that I just think Carolina's god awful. There's not hardly any players I ever look for on them to try and play anything for. And the Falcons, I just haven't been able to get a good read on, mostly because I haven't watched their games is the problem.
Well, they've got that extended or mini bye week.
Yeah.
Thursday game, that definitely helps. So I certainly like Atlanta to win. Picking all these favorites.
Yep. We
definitely not the most confident money line. I would not put Falcons money line in a parlay.
No. So
definitely way more confident money lines this week. But
yeah, you know what? And this might be a week that the public wins. I don't know. It happens. So
well, somebody's gonna mess it up. One of these bigger teams, bigger favorites.
All right.
Probably not the Texans, probably not the Eagles, but
yeah,
probably not the Ravens. So if I had to pick one of those four bigger spreads, I feel like Carolina would be the upset team, but certainly not going to bet them.
No.
Not going to bet either team here.
Nope. Lions, Cowboys. Should be I think this.
Man, I really like the Lions here. They're coming off that bye.
Yep.
With the play, I bet. I think it might be my favorite play of the week, CeeDee Lamb over receiving yards. Man, I got 76.5. That should have been a 2-unit play for sure.
I tried.
That's still too low.
The funny thing was I had my phone when you put that in.
Mm-hmm.
Got the notification.
Well, I had my Picker Pro alerts. I was ready for that one. That was my play of the week right there.
Instantly changed. And the stupid thing was I went to go. I had like a book. I pulled open a book, and I was trying to find the same or similar line, and it moved so fast. It was wild. And while I found the line at, I think it was 1 yard difference, I was still in the middle of checking all my other books. And by the time I came back, it had got bumped up. And I was like, God damn it.
I was ready for that one. Obviously, other people were too.
Yep. Obviously the line now is ballooned up, rightfully so.
Well, he's going for 100+ line.
Yep.
I don't know if the number matters. Jalen Tolbert's also a good play. I haven't played him, but Brandon Cooks is out for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Detroit certainly got the matchup to run. I feel like Gibbs and Montgomery both have very big games.
See, and that's where I'm at too. And that's why I'm very confused by this line because
I am too.
Because they have the lowest line available. There is no lower line than DraftKings on 56.5, as far as I'm aware. And I don't understand it. Because I think
same thing with touchdown odds. Montgomery's only minus 150, but CeeDee Lamb's only minus 130. Those are two of my favorites. Gibbs, too, I like.
Yeah.
Take your pick with the chalk touchdowns in this game. Montgomery, Lamb, Gibbs. I don't know if you want to do Montgomery and Gibbs, but
481.
I do have Lamb and Montgomery.
Off. That's still 200. That's still 204. Jesus.
Those two are going to be in my touchdown parlay, Montgomery and Lamb. Not sure if I'll do Gibbs or not.
Yeah.
Lamb's scoring.
Yes.
Montgomery is scoring. I will stick along.
I'm almost done.
Yeah, we'll finish up in a little bit, but certainly the matchup to throw the ball. You can't run on Detroit. Of course, Walker had a couple nice runs against Detroit, and I bet it's under. a couple
Have
weeks
you
ago.
have you seen that stat about teams post playing the Lions?
What is it?
That that after playing the Lions that they have one of their worst games all season because of how physical the Lions are.
Well, I believe it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just something I noted, and I'm going to look at playing against the Cowboys next week. So
Okay, that definitely makes sense.
yeah,
So
I,
plain
I
and simply, the Cowboys are going to be throwing the ball this week.
mean, I
CeeDee
think
Lamb's going to be catching the ball this week.
they're gonna have to, and like you
They're going to
said,
have to.
I just don't understand. It's scaring me off, and maybe it shouldn't, but I just don't understand how Montgomery's line is so low.
I mean, it's just because they hurt each other a little bit.
Yeah,
One might
but
hurt their yards because one goes for 75, one goes
you
for
look
53.
you look at Montgomery's, he's
They do team rushing yards.
50% on the year. But
Well, he
it,
had like 40-yard
versus,
reception.
versus them, he's 65%. This is last year when he was so Gibbs. I think Gibbs wasn't really. He doesn't seem like he's the guy I really wanted to play. Now he's obviously 3 of the last 4, but I don't know why he didn't play or he didn't get many yards against them last year. So I don't know. It's one of these two guys. Obviously, they think it's Gibbs with giving him the higher rushing yards there. So
So the
I don't
team
know.
has 131.5 on 365. I'm not sure if you can find a better number than that. The Cowboys team rushing total went down. It's 85.5. So I missed my chance at 88.5.
Oh, that's
It might not matter because Cowboys aren't going to be running the ball probably this week. But if you can find a better team, Lions team rushing over, I feel like Gibbs and Montgomery, or if you want to do like 40 plus for each, I don't know. I mean, this is an SGP game. I feel like
What?
for this game.
What did you say? 365 had Detroit at?
131.5.
Oh yeah, no. So
Team
Caesar
rushing
says
yards.
136.
Oh, so a better number. I mean, if you like both of them. I mean, this is an SGP game. I feel like chalk hits in this game.
Yeah, this game is going to be chalky as hell.
It's great. Yeah, if you would do 40 plus for Gibbs and Montgomery, that's minus 115. That's a good builder play, I think. 40 plus for both.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's a good builder right there.
I might book this right now, actually.
What Gibbs and Montgomery? You gonna bet that?
Yeah. I mean, it's total chalk, but
I mean, I feel like this is a chalk game.
yeah, as we already talked about, it's a chalk game. So, and you may be, with this better way thing, I may be able to bump them up to like to like 42 or something like that.
It's even money.
Yeah, to get it like to even money or something. So,
Yeah, 60.
I think that's probably
because one's gonna hurt the other, but
the problem is that even if both of us like the Lions to win the game, if they get up, their favorite thing to do is give Montgomery the ball and just run it down your throat, right? So
that's why it's back for the Lions.
Yeah, that's why I don't.
For Montgomery.
Yeah, that's why I don't really have a concern that he's not going to get his yards because in the end they essentially always give it to him in those situations. So if you play Gibbs 42, yes.
How often do they both hit 40? I wonder.
Well, let's go back to props.
And we've been on it for a couple hours. There's some good shit in. I'm not sure who the hell's still listening to this.
256 loyal soldiers. We appreciate you all.
After 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you get something productive out of this.
I wish you could enter a
Not sure as fuck needed with NFL.
Well, Gibbs has hit 40 at least every time versus the Cowboys.
If I had to pick one, it'd be Montgomery. Frank Ragnow back for the Lions. They can just run it right down their throat.
I mean, So there's Gibbs 40. Feel like that's. Is there a way I can just like make this? There we go. Montgomery, same sort of thing. God, look at those games he's ended right at 40.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now.
Yeah. So 40
That's what
seems,
I do like that a lot. There's a lot of things I do like a lot. I haven't played.
so yeah, if you get
Selective.
40, yes.
I mean, this is a lotto game. I feel like you could definitely hit SGP. I got all that bonus money. Figure out some bonus money. I might do it SGP for this.
Yeah. So you can get that I can, I should say, not everyone. But you can do Gibbs at 4 for 42 yards and Montgomery for 40, and that gets you to plus 102 with that better way thing. So, I mean, you're getting a little greedy with 2 yards. So, if you really wanted it, but for everyone else who's playing 40-40 is 100%.
I mean, for 2 legs, I feel like that's a good 2-leg builder.
It's minus EV. It's minus EV.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the fuck. If it hits, it hits.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. When I get paid out the money, I do not care.
I don't give a shit what you call it if the bet wins.
So yeah, no, I'm actually looking forward to just watching this game in general. So
we're on the Lions. All these favorites.
I am on the Lions there, coming off a bye.
Yeah, Lions -3 off a bye. I don't bet spreads often. I do like that one a lot, but
Yep.
It's almost too good to be true. A flat -3.
Yeah, which probably means it's going to go the other way. So
probably.
All right, Sunday night game, Bengals, the horrific lesbian-led Bengals going up against the horrendous New York Giants.
I wish we had a better Sunday night football game. I don't care for this game really at all.
It's not.
What do you say about this game? Malik Neighbors is out. I think Devin Singletary is going to be out. Somebody like, what is there to like in this game? Maybe Jamar Chase. Like,
yeah, but
I do like Jamar Chase to score, but even at plus money, I think there might be weather in this game. I was going to check that. I feel like we might have rain. I might be able to check now.
Yeah, well, you know my thought on the Sunday night games. I don't even play them until like the space between the last NFL game, the afternoon slate, and the Sunday night game, because I kind of want to assess where I'm at.
Yeah,
and then obviously it's just you wait because you get the boost, and
that's gonna be a boost.
That's the only thing I really want to play on those primetime games anyways, is I'm trying to kind of whittle my way down into like a plus 100 with a boost sort of thing. And I mean, it's going to be something with Jamar Chase.
It's going to have Jamar Chase. I don't know what else he would have.
It's going to be something.
Rushing yards.
It's going to be something with Robinson and
Mondale receptions. I mean, this is kind of forcing it, kind of. But of course, we're gonna get a boost for this, so you gotta find something.
But if you did like Jamar 50, man, I don't know. 40 is almost high.
Hell, there you go. If you had that your way thing.
Yeah, but you can't use boosts with it. So
okay.
Yeah. So you're stuck in between this 25-30 thing, or 25-40, sorry. And I don't know that I really like him for 40.
So this will not be the best Sunday night football game this year.
I think a lot of people are going to get smoked on this game, if I had to guess.
Which means the Giants win and or cover.
Yeah.
Which just might happen, even though Malik Neighbors is out.
Let's go to receiving.
His concert last night. I don't know if that's a rumor or if it's true. You can't believe everything you see on Twitter these days, but
right.
Malik Neighbors still out with a concussion.
So really, my God, dog farted. Jesus, that's enough to kill you.
Maybe Tyrone Tracy rushing yards. I don't know if anybody has that. I don't think so. Maybe Devin Singletary is going to be back, which I definitely don't like anything in that game if Singletary plays.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's why
This game sucks. I mean,
that's why you got to wait on these
yeah,
games.
definitely gotta wait for this game. There's nothing to like at the moment with this game.
I mean, is there maybe some stuff in here in these weird specials that we're not looking at?
So there you go. Sometimes these weird ass specials.
Honestly, am I crazy for thinking that the total is under this in that first quarter? The problem is you're asking the Giants to stop anyone.
That's the thing. I don't care for this game at all. Let's see.
Both?
First half under. First half total 23.5.
This is an interesting thing. You can't pair it with anything, but both teams to score. I mean, what's
in the first quarter?
Yeah. Are the Giants? This is like kind of those weird things you have to look at. Like, oh, have the Giants
I haven't
actually?
seen this before. First quarter, both teams to score. Yes or no?
Where are the
I haven't
Giants?
seen this before. Is this new?
Yes, it's newer. It's newer this year. It wasn't there last year.
Yeah, but then again, I feel like you're just kind of forcing to play here.
Yeah,
Of course,
agreed.
we're gonna
Yes,
get boost, but
I think that's the best way you can label this. Is like when you're in deep like this.
yeah, when you're in this far for trying to find a play, it's not just pass. I need to take that advice a little bit more often than I do, but of course, it's Sunday night. We're gonna get a boost. We're gonna be watching the game. We got to find something.
Interestingly, the Giants have only not scored in one game this year, regular season, which was last week versus the Seahawks. They have given up a touchdown. They've given up a touchdown every game, first quarter. First half total. Yeah. See, I think you're just spot on here. When you're in here looking at this stuff,
trying this hard to find a play is not worth it.
Yeah, you're
way better plays. I feel like on Sunday than whatever you can
Yeah.
find in this game.
Yep. So
Jamar Chase first touchdown. It's that fucking easy, man. I'm not gonna feel dumb when Jamar Chase scores the first touchdown.
I'm gonna
46 yards. Jamar Chase first touchdown.
Who you got for this game? Bengals or Giants?
I mean, after talking about it, I feel like the Giants.
I actually think the Giants win too, because I just look at this -200.
I mean, all these favorites I like.
I'll take the Giants. I'll eat my words, I'm sure, but
I mean, the Bengals are the better team. Of course, they haven't looked up to their full potential.
They haven't looked good at all though this year. So I can't.
On paper, they're a top 5 to 10 team, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll say Giants. I haven't had too many underdogs this week. I'll say Giants.
Yeah. Okay.
That's really don't like that. Pass on this game. We spent way too much time talking about this game. We've been on for 2 hours. Too much time.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up here with the Bills and Jets. We're back to finally only having one Monday night game, which is plenty for me, in my opinion.
I was gonna wait till Monday to figure this game out.
Yeah, again, I know y'all come on and really hope we can kind of give you some early lines and stuff for this, but there's just not. I mean, the problem is even now this early, you're looking into this stuff and there's no real lines available. I'll tell you right now, I am not playing Breece Hall rushing anymore because it's like the Jets' offensive line is just so bad that I just don't – they're not making a conceded effort to really run the ball anyways, because I feel like they're just trying to force the situation with Rodgers and make him pass the ball and like win the game that way. But a lot like Pickens, Garrett Wilson quits on routes all the time. It pisses Rodgers off. Vision, you can see it on the sideline. He's constantly like, what the fuck? What are you doing, man? And rightfully so. You need to be running the routes. There's been multiple times you watch those games, and if he would keep going, he's open. He just quits on it for some reason. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, there's just not.
This is a 1:00 game. I definitely would not bet it.
Yeah.
That's some of these primetime games.
The other thing you got to try and take into consideration is, their coach getting fired.
Yeah, didn't even mention that part.
Yeah. So, and now it's Ulbrich, right? Who's going to be
Ulbrich is the interim head coach, and then Todd Downing's taking over play calling duties from Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
So why did you not fire Nathaniel Hackett? That's the question I have for you. But I guess he's buddy with Rodgers.
Yeah.
Rodgers, I guess he's the real play caller in the offense, but
it's his guy, right? Hackett's his guy. So
apparently,
yeah.
So Todd Downing, I don't know who that is off the top of my head, but new play caller this week. Who knows what that means for the Jets? So again, if this was a Monday 1 o'clock or Sunday 1 o'clock game, I definitely would not bet it. Bills and Jets. But it's on Monday night. We're all going to be watching. Of course, we're going to get boosts for this game, and you got to figure out plays for this.
And it's weird because I feel like you can't on these weird boost games or these weird primetime games where it's kind of like it's never chalk. You always got to find this weird, like some third string slot guy is going to catch like a bomb or something. And then you're like, and of course you get on X and see all these guys with 50,000 followers like, oh, laddered him up. And you're like, oh, yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
So
sometimes it's easy like Deebo Samuel, but I don't know. There's a lot of injuries in this game. I guess for both teams, a lot of injuries to look at. James Cook, Khalil Shakir.
And
Aaron
the other thing,
is questionable. I think he's questionable every week, but CJ Mosley. So yeah, you got to wait till Monday for this game. Don't even.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I think people need to take into account is with their head coach gone, who was, as far as I know, he was the one kind of doing the defense, right? So I mean, he was a defensive guy. So does their defense take a step back now?
That's another reason I wouldn't bet this game if it was 1 o'clock.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not this game Sunday night, Monday morning.
I'm gonna when it comes time, I probably won't bet anything until Monday morning or mid afternoon or something like that, because I'll probably have to just dig to even find anything that's worth it that I think is going to hit. And like you said, when you're kind of digging in the bag like that, it's almost the spot where you're like, all right, maybe shouldn't even be putting anything down.
Could be windy. Could be a factor.
Yeah. Which wind hasn't really affected Rodgers, though, in the past.
I don't think it affects Rodgers or Josh Allen, now that you say that. Two quarterbacks that wind probably doesn't have much of an effect on.
Two guys that got fucking cannons for arms, right?
Cannon arm wind quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Sure, Josh Allen fucking loves that. Josh Allen probably plays better with the wind.
Well, yeah, I think he probably does too, right? Because then he throws it hard on purpose, and the ball just slows it down, or the wind slows it down, so guys aren't like bouncing off their chests and stuff.
Rodgers probably the same way.
Yep.
Playing in Green Bay for 15 years.
Yeah, open. Same with Josh Allen being in Buffalo. Open, not in a dome or whatever. So
yeah, I think they both love those windy and ugly weather games.
A lot of quick outs, screens. So that's kind of been Rodgers' thing with the Jets. It'll be interesting to see if they get away from the quick screen game. He got picked off last week by Van Dinkel, I think is his name, or something like that. But it was just very predictable. We'll see if they stick with that game plan, as you said, new play caller. So I don't know. It's
a lot of question marks in that game.
Yeah, and you know what? It may end up being a total pass for me. I may just say,
honestly, honestly, probably should at this point.
Yeah,
you take Breece Hall, you take James Cook if he plays. Yeah, figure out this game on Monday. Know the injury situation, the weather.
I think what I'll do is I'll end up assessing how I am after Sunday. If I'm in the green, I'll probably just, what? Why give anything back? It doesn't even matter. So last thing on that game, who do you got winning?
I was going to figure that out Monday.
Got to write her down for the stream.
Coaching change, play calling change on offense. I guess Buffalo. Buffalo's minus 2.5.
It's in New York, right?
Yeah, it's in New York.
I'm gonna go. I gotta do it because we've had all the same picks. I'm gonna go the Jets, and I
I mean,
think,
I don't feel nearly confident enough to pick either side or even
yeah.
tease a side.
The only
Just 'cause
reason
there's
I
so much
say the
uncertainty with this
Jets,
team.
the only reason I say the Jets, is kind of some points you pointed out. New play caller. You got Nathaniel Hackett, who's Rodgers' guy. I think they're gonna adjust the offense enough now. So now Buffalo's gonna be kind of thrown off. They're not gonna expect. They're gonna not hopefully. I think they will try to put in some things that is gonna throw Buffalo for a loop. They won't be expecting it. My only, I guess, big concern would be is how healthy is Rodgers after like hurting his knee last week.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, he's a 40-year-old man. You just don't bounce back. So it's nothing against him.
Brees Hall. I mean,
Yeah, maybe this is a game.
Rushing attempts for Brees Hall. He might get 20 on Monday. This is what we don't know, I guess. It's just kind of a weird line for Brees.
Yeah, and you just don't know. So, but I'm thinking my thought is maybe the Jets kind of rally around each other, circle the wagons, if you will, and go get a good win against Buffalo at home. So that way we're not exactly the same, but again,
It sucks that these primetime games really aren't the best, I guess, betting wise.
Yeah.
Be watching wise too, but
the funny thing is I never understand like why these primetime games they always put just absolute trash.
Better options for Sunday Night Football for sure.
Yeah. I mean, surely they could have moved a different game to the Sunday Night Football game.
No, we'll get to that point later in the season.
Yeah. I guess maybe in the early season they don't care as much to do that.
They look terrible in August, but
yeah. Just let them have their limelight now. So, all right.
So what do I have? 6 official plays. Well, I do like Jamar Chase to score for Sunday night, but
have you already locked
that in? My touchdown parlay yet. I got to figure that out. Hopefully, I can click the right buttons. So I got the Commanders team rushing under Brian Robinson Jr. under rushing attempts that may void if he doesn't play. AJ Brown over yards, CeeDee Lamb over yards. Cardinals and Packers total under passing yards. Olave over receiving yards, and I got that London builder. So what is it? 7 straights? With 6 straights in the builder.
6 straights in the builder. So I got
AOC live attempts I'm going to look for.
So I got as of now, I got the quote-unquote teaser that I played. I did lock up, well, not yet. I'm going to lock up Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs builder, 40-40. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the your way 40.
You might get a boost for that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm kind of waiting. I did, and I played Trevor Lawrence under 265 and Tank Bigsby 30. And then the other thing, I think I wrote down a live spot I wanted to catch. What I say? Oh, Jordan Love under attempts.
Okay.
So that was.
Well, you're not going to find a better number live, probably.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping. Yeah. And I wrote down Josh Jacobs' yards. So I don't know.
I have Jacobs' yards written down.
Yep. He's at I should write it his number. That's what I meant to do last week because I was really bad about this, was writing down their number now so I know what I want to go less than.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. I'm kind of low volume right now. I tail pretty much all of your plays I can get. I'm going to have to try and catch CD live. I don't know that that's going to happen at all. Most likely not. So they'll probably hammer him. So
we have 275 people watching this shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is productive. Been on it for almost 2.5 hours now.
Yeah. If anyone, seriously, thank you all for watching.
It's productive for me, I think, to get through some of these plays. Go through
we don't have any comments this week, so that's okay. obviously during the stream, you can watch on YouTube or here live on X. Feel free to comment at any time. We'll talk about your stuff that you have questions on. Seriously, thank everyone for joining us again. 2 hours. Something I wanted to talk to you offline is, maybe because we have gone 2 hours each time, is maybe splitting this up and doing like a Wednesday show or something like that. Or
Might have to.
yeah, just to kind
We've
of
been doing
keep.
this for 3 weeks. I feel like it's gotten a little bit better each week.
Yeah, I think we've gotten a lot smoother. It's more of flow kind of content, discussion sort of thing, where that first one was maybe a bit bumpy, but that's all right.
I just need that huge week. I haven't had that huge week yet this season.
It's coming. I can't wait. It's coming.
Shit, I'm excited for this Sunday.
Yeah.
I haven't had this feeling since week one. And week one Sunday was fucking awful for me. Worst Sunday I ever had, week one this year. Killed my unit count pretty early in the season.
I think you won a couple 2U plays there, right?
Well, I had 3, I think. They all lost. Hawkins, Amari Cooper, Devontae. So that absolutely destroyed me.
Oh,
Sunday
you know
weekend.
what? I wrote this down. I did write this down. I wrote a note, and I wanted to because I kind of, since it is kind of like a, just while we're talking about gambling and stuff, podcast or whatever you want to call this thing, is that your worst loss, worst beat of the week last week. What was yours?
One bet. Oh, I should have been prepared for this.
Yeah, I meant to ask you. I already know what it is, in my opinion. It's Nico Collins.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. So I had Nico Collins over 78.5 receiving yards. He gets a 67-yard touchdown, hurts his hamstring on the touchdown reception.
Never comes back.
2 catches for 78 yards in the first quarter. Never comes back.
Never comes back.
So they're obviously going to get one more receiving yard in the last 3 quarters.
That was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
He outran the defense so fucking hard that he pulled his hamstring. And he's on injured reserve now. I think he's out for 4 weeks at least.
He's out for 4 weeks.
I didn't even think about that. I forgot about that. It's been a long week.
Okay, what do you think your sharpest bet was of last week?
I should have been prepared with these questions. Last week feels like a month ago. I'm so ready for this Sunday. Season is not gone how I planned, that's for damn sure. What the hell did I bet last week?
I tell you what, I think
injuries that killed me. Nico Collins and Aaron Jones. I haven't had too many injuries this week or this season, but man, I had 2 killer injuries last week.
I'll tell you what I think your sharpest one was playing Stevenson live. He's over at 10.
Oh, I played Stevenson live. Ramondre Stevenson.
Over 10.5. He crushed it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, you caught him.
I was very comfortable playing that juice.
Yeah. I actually caught him at plus 110 because I waited.
I could have gone back and doubled down on that.
Yep.
That could have been a 3-unit play, but I don't think I've had any 2-unit play since week 1, just because week 1 was that awful. I mean, really, all my straights this week I feel like could be 2-unit plays. That's how confident I am in A.J. Brown and C.D. Lamb and Olave. But
so my sharpest
bet. Bring that back.
Yeah, I can't believe you weren't thinking about Nico though as your bad.
I've completely forgot about last week. I've moved on.
my
says I've moved on already.
I've moved on, but we move.
Yeah, and I had the 100+ rushing yards for Ramondre, and of course he got injured. I think he was going to catch that 100+.
Yep.
So Ramondre's out this week.
I
can pat myself on the shoulder for that, but I'm not going to do too much until I get NFL back where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I need that huge week. That huge week hasn't happened. It's fucking week 6 already.
It's coming though. My sharp of the week last week was, I'd say it was probably Jacoby, his under passing yards of 164.
Okay.
It got a touch sweaty, but I mean, he was flying under like almost the entire game, and then he cashed pretty much with air. But the other one maybe was playing Jamar Chase live, his receiving yards. He got all the way down to 64, and I sniped it, and then like literally 5 minutes later catches like a bomb. So he flew over that. Bad beat of the week. I I think someone I played. I'm trying to look back here. Oh, you know what? I don't know if it was a bad beat, maybe just a bad bet. I guess that's probably how I should have worded it to you. Was
It's a
the
bad bet, yeah.
bad
Had some
bet,
bad
not
bets.
bad bet versus bad beat, whatever. I guess whatever you really whatever you want to call it. I'll say my bad bet was I took Rodgers rushing yards live because the week before he finally looked more healthy and was running the ball like he was actually scrambling out and doing very Roger-esque things. When he was with Green Bay, and I thought his yards got down to 2.5, and I was like, "Oh my god, like you're kidding me? He's gonna pick this up soon." It was like in the first quarter or something like that, and he obviously tweaked his knee and pretty much said, "Fuck it, I'm not leaving the pocket" at that point. And there was multiple times he like rolled out or did something, and I'm like, "Here we go, it's happening," and he just said, "Fuck it," and he throws the ball away or just like dirts it, and I'm like, "God damn it, dude, what are you doing?" 2 yards. I need 3 yards.
Hey, can we get a Rodgers rushing line for this Monday?
What's that?
Is anyone going to post a Rodgers rushing line for Monday?
Yeah, maybe it's an under.
Sure.
I don't know.
I might not even post that.
Yeah,
0.5 rushing yards.
I'll say the bad and the second bad bet that we both went on. I don't know if it's bad. It's almost bad luck. Was the both teams to score a touchdown in each half on the Bills.
Oh,
Houston.
yeah.
That was actually almost semi bad luck because the Bills just could not get their ass in the end zone in the first half. And of course, second half, no problem, right? And so
Yeah, second half, no problem.
oh my
I
god,
knew that was going to happen.
the Texans
Put
put up,
both teams to score 20.
yeah,
Might be a little bit safer, but we got it. Good value at plus money. Well, not good value because it fucking lost. It was plus EV, but it fucking lost.
yeah.
What the hell that means?
But the Texans put up like 21, and I was like, oh my god, perfect. The Bills are going to have to like really force their way into the end zone this first half, and then just couldn't do it. They just were just incapable. Yeah, so that was disgusting, but thought we try and do some more kind of fun things at the end here. Just so next week.
I'll be more prepared for that shit last week. I've completely moved on from last week. I'm ready for that fucking monster week.
Yeah.
With that monster class Sunday. It hasn't happened yet. Hopefully it's this Sunday. Because I sure as fuck need it.
Yep. One good week will turn things around for anyone. So that's all I got this week. Is you got anything else you want to mention or discuss?
How many people are still watching this?
282.
281 are still watching this. Shout out to all 281 people and everybody else that tuned in.
Yeah.
Find a way. Hopefully this is productive for people. Maybe we'll do 2 shows or something. We got to split it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 hours of people's Friday afternoon or Friday evening.
Yeah. And actually if people
hopefully it's fucking worth it. I think it's helpful for me.
If you think 2 shows breaking this up would be good, DM us or obviously comment on one of these things and say, hey, yeah, I'd love to see a different, 2 separate shows where maybe the first show is just kind of us more bullshitting, recapping the week before, look ahead spots, stuff like that. And then Friday is the show where we really do what we're doing. And I think it'll help us move through a little faster too. So
yeah, I mean, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think doing this helps me.
Yeah. If anything, we get to cuss and discuss lines that we like and things like that. So, yes, I mean,
thank you for everybody that's tuned in.
Amy. So, all right, everyone, that's a wrap for us on week 6. Thanks again for tuning in to What's the Play. Again, can't be thankful for everyone that's here. And as Lucas said, have a great weekend, everyone. All right, signing off.
See ya.